Next level, leagues above the devil. Flying higher than they said I would, they label me a rebel. Bogota barely as dope as me. Success the only thing that give me dopamine. A legend, the only thing that I'm supposed to be. Everything's the only thing that's owed to me. Yeah, I want it all, my baby. I didn't come to watch, I came to ball, my baby.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Drift Masters Championship. My name is Becky Evans, and we are live on Red Bull TV. Now, it is round 6. We are at the City of Iron here in Ferropolis, one of the most unique tracks out here on our calendar. It's an open-air museum of 20th century industrial machinery. Chase and Status have played here, but we've got a very different kind of action coming for you this afternoon in our top 32. We had our qualifying yesterday, which threw up our 1-2-3 of Conor with 97.5, Peter with 97 points, and Jack with 96.5, with a showdown ending up with Jack and Conor. But let's take a quick look at our calendar. So our first round, as we know, cancelled. Round 2, we went to Madrid in Spain. 3 ended up at the Power Park in Finland, on to Mondello Park. Then round 5, we are at Riga, Latvia, and now round 6. We're here at Ferropolis, and all of this leads to that final, the big Red Bull final at the PGE Narodowe, where we will be in Warsaw to see who will be crowned the Drift Masters Championship. But let's take a look at what happened back in Riga as Peter Vichek managed to take the top spot after a wild weekend of drifting.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 5 of Drift Masters 2025. You're joining us here in the beautiful Bekaneki Trace in the middle of Riga in Latvia as the sun shines down on this beautiful circuit with packed out grandstand. Nothing short of a roller coaster here in Riga as these guys now feel the heat and the pressure in the car to make it through and to try and win that crown of Riga. Shock exit for Conor Shanahan in that top 32. A few mistakes in his lead and his chase.
Yeah, congrats to Churba. This sucks, to be honest. Not good. Thought the fight was on this weekend. We just got the car fixed right before the battle, and maybe my head wasn't fully in it, but I will for sure still do everything to win this championship. The fight's not over yet.
Laurie Heinen in that borrowed car. Oh, wow! Big accident! Big accident.
This is just not my year. I've tried so hard. Like, I'm gutted with myself. Like, I nearly cried at the minute.
He's taking it to the door. Contact again. Both guys in the wall. Wow.
I'm input the gear, the broken the drive shaft. This season, not my season.
All of the Drift Masters events are risk-reward, but I think Riga is one of the ones where you have to push 110% and you have to risk a lot.
You know, lots of respect there. Happy that everybody's walking away from it.
Well, let's get into it. No more messing around. They're ready to go. We're ready to go. It's time for the final. We get the green light. This is it, the final of Drift Masters 2025 at Riga. It's time for action. They fire through the gears, and look at this. On the bumper goes James Dean. A nice initiation from Vichek as they go wheel to wheel across the circuit. No messing around. Dean down on the inside as Vichek leads them very, very wide up the curb. As you can hear the V8 scream alongside the 2JZ. They fire back once again. A small check up there from Dean as they get into this final outside zone. Vichek on the wall. Dean goes for the door across the line. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. One little bobble from James Dean. Could that be it? Could that be the chink in the armour for the Irishman? They wait to get the green light from our starline Marshall Marson. He walks out of view, and we are ready to go for the final run of round 5 through the gears down as Vichek now hunts down the Mustang. Dean, early initiation, flicks it right to the edge of the circuit. They're side by side as they come through that first outside zone. Dean almost pushing everything to the limit, but look at Vichek. He's almost touching the whole way round. He punches through the smoke as they go wide. They transition back, and Vichek's with him. He's on the front wheel. Vichek is a man possessed. He cannot be shaken as they bang wheels across the line. This is unbelievable. The style, the skill from both of these guys. It's Peter Vichek is the king of Riga 2025. What a weekend for the Polishman. Unbelievable.
Well, there you have it. That was the tale of the tape in Riga. Let's take a look at those championship standings as they are after qualifying here in Ferropolis. So in first place, Peter Vichek with 306 points. In second place, Conor Shanahan with 290, just a 16-point lead there. And in third place, James Dean with 233, and then Jack coming in fourth with 212. Now, I managed to catch up with Conor Shanahan, the man of the minute, because you know what, Conor? This is a seriously important weekend for you. But we've just seen what happened in Riga. Let's talk about it. Drifting is so up and down. The emotions are high, they're low, but a top 32 this far in the season, it's not fun.
No, not good. Yeah, you mentioned it exactly how it is. The emotions, what you go through in this sport, can be pretty rough sometimes. They can take a toll on you. I honestly don't really know what happened in Riga. I was really feeling it. Practice was really good, qualified second. Had a good battle with James in the showdown, and it just fell apart in 32. I don't really know. I don't know if I under-delivered with Turba, not expecting him to be as good as he was, but I don't really think that was the case. I just had some mistakes creep in, and yeah, when I crossed the finish line, I knew myself. I was like, damn, this is not going to be a good day, but that's the joys of the game sometimes, and you just got to pick yourself back up. There's no point dwelling on it.
Well, Drift Masters, a top 32 battle now almost feels like a top 8, a top 16. The level has just come on so far.
Yeah, even today, again, it's going to be intense. Like, you can go home in 32 as easy. You can go home in top 8, top 4, so yeah, you got to be on your A game, and I think it really, you have to give a lot of respect to every driver now in Drift Masters. You can't take anybody for granted. Every single person here is putting in the work. I think that's the biggest difference what we've seen in previous years, is that, you know, all these drivers are going home in the off season and they all want to come back and beat us. You know, they all want to be the champion. So you got to be on your A game, especially with a track when it's very technical. You know, everybody's kind of leveled the chasing up to a very high level now, so you got to be on your A game.
Well, let's talk about the bracket today. I mean, where you positioned after your qualifying, 97.5 points, just 0.5 over Peter, put you in a bit of an interesting position for today.
Yeah, I was very happy with yesterday. It was nice to see Peter crack with a little bit of pressure on the last corner on the second run. It was a little bit of a smile on my face, but Peter Vichek is a, you know, 2-time Drift Masters, 3-time Drift Masters champion. You know, for no reason. As a driver I've looked up to for my whole career, so he knows how to win these championships. He knows how to deal with the pressure. You know, he's going to be pushing hard, trying to get everything he can out of today, but the plan is also the same for me. But as we mentioned, 32 is going to be very hard, very important part of the weekend. Some nerves will maybe creep in because I know how it was when I got knocked out the last day, but we got to be on our A game. I got to try take home max points today, and as I always say, this round is where the championship is won. Poland is just a cherry on the cake.
Absolutely. I mean, you and Peter could only actually finish in the finals together. That's the only way that you guys could meet today. So maybe we'll have a repeat of that. Would that be what you'd like to see?
No, I want him gone earlier than that. I need a little bit of a breather space if I go win tonight. I want a little bit of breathing space to go to Poland. But if it's both of us in the final, for sure, it's a really important battle for me to win, because I think, you know, if that's the case and he goes on to beat me in the final tonight, we have a problem in Poland. It'll be hard to claim it back. So we got to be on our A game, whether it's Peter, whoever we get in the final. The plan tonight is to go all the way.
Absolutely, Conor. Well, we're wishing you good luck in your top 32. And speaking of a final with Peter and Conor, let's take a look at what happened in 2023, where that is exactly what happened.
This is the moment where Vichek has to go to a very strange place, a place he's not comfortable with, a place which is beyond his control. If he wants to beat Shanahan here, he has to risk absolutely everything. This is the only way he's top step tonight, and here we go.
He's off the line, he's through the gears, and look at the concentration on Vichek's face as he initiates the same time as Shanahan. Flames erupt from the back of the car as he knows he's at 15 onto the door of that GT86. Shanahan goes to the wall. Vichek's closer than he was before. He now makes a big dive in outside zone 4. He's wheel to wheel. This is closer than they've ever been as they fire through that transition. Shanahan on a flyer, but Vichek not going anywhere. And now the separation opens up as Shanahan takes it across the line.
Unreal. First place goes to Peter Vichek. Gets the win. He's back. He's in business. Vichek still in the championship hunt.
Well, there you have it. That was the battle from 2023, which solidified the win for Peter Vichek. And I've just managed to catch up with him now. He's done his yoga, he's done his deep breathing, he's ready for the event today. Now, Peter, we've got to talk about something. When you went into qualifying yesterday, you were like, don't tell me the score. And I was like, but I need to tell you the score because you've kind of just topped it for the minute. Why is it that you don't want to hear from me about it?
Yeah, you know, it's our first run. So during the first run, you still need to be prepared for the second one. And simply for me, it doesn't change. If I know that I have a good score or bad score, I still need to perform during my second run. So I just want to have the same mindset without stressing about that I have a low score or high score. I just need to be focused in the same way as I did before. So yeah, I just don't want to mess it up in my head.
just always staying in that zone, locked in. But we've got to talk also about the glasses. I mean, I'm wearing these this weekend. This is purely a form over function because this is just for the secretary lock. What, you were wearing some lenses yesterday, some amber lenses. Is that for contrast because of the light on the track?
It's because I saw you and you look really nice in your glasses, so I want to resemble you actually, you know, a bit. But honestly, Lucas told me that those yellow lenses react a bit better in the low light, let's say, environment, and that's what we try. It feels okay. The contrast is a bit maybe higher, so we will see if we will use them during that night, probably.
Did it work for you, though, or was it just a look?
To be honest, I didn't check them during that run, so I don't know. But yeah, it felt okay, so probably we'll use them in the night.
All right, but Peter, well, you can always borrow mine for your top 32 battle. We're going to wish you best of luck, and we'll see you out there. Guys, I'm going to hand it back up to you. We've got some serious heat coming to the track. Let's take it away.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yes, let's take it away. Let's kick off round 6 of Drift Masters 2025. My name is Ian Waddington. I'm joined alongside by my very good friend, Jacob Gittins. Jacob, look at the scene. We're here. The temperature has been through the roof all weekend around the circuit. Now the grandstands are packed and the temperature on track is about to hit max temperature as we turn the heat up, ready for our penultimate round of top 32.
Yeah, it's the temperature change has been beautiful. I got to spend some time up with the spotters. They're telling me that these track conditions are incredible. We'll see how things develop. It played a massive role yesterday. Track temps, air temps, all of it came into play. But yeah, let's get things rolling.
Yeah, let's get things rolling indeed. But we need to throw it over to the guys that have all the hard work this evening. It's going to be our judge, David Kalas, alongside Werner Svanefeld, Matthias Jedges, and Chris Witelski. David, take it away.
Yeah, today it won't be easy at all. Not only for the drivers, but also for us. As we saw yesterday during the qualification, everybody's really good in their lead runs, and this is something what we will be looking for. It needs to be flawless lead to get really flawless chase. So for the lead run, hit all clipping zones, maintain consistent angle, drive so the chase car can follow. That is very important at the deceleration zone, which is marked at outer zone 1. Then the chaser can do his job, and his job is being close as possible. There is only one moving clipping point on the track, and that is the leader. All the zones on the track are just showing you where the leader will be moving towards to. So we will be able to mark the points for the chaser. Also look on how the chaser will be doing the transitions. We are really looking on synchronization of the transitions between 3 and 4 and 4 and 5. So keep your eye on that, and hopefully it will be a great show.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, and not a tough weekend. Yesterday we see some of the qualifying scores reflected in that, and it's all about that lead line. It's all about hitting those zones, making sure you're not onto the wall too hard, but into the wall and into those zones. Let's take a look, though, at the track that these guys have got battled this afternoon in top 32. So they come off the start line. Don't forget, no chicane here at Driftmasters anymore, just breaking that laser beam. Then it's the lead car stay away from that little white line that's fired down into first outside zone, then keep it nice and wide for outside zone 2. Push the car right to the edge of the circuit to outside zone 3, then a nice long transition, but do the braking before you get to outside zone 4, then full throttle, bumper on the wall all the way along before a snappy transition into outside zone 5. Get the car time there right perfectly, right to the edge of the circuit, keep it into 6, look for 7, and that white line across the track, that is the finish line. Seems easy. It's not that easy, especially as we go under the lights. And let's take a look at the battles that we've got coming up today in top 32, because they are some heaters, Jacob.
Yeah, and if you tuned into qualifying last night, we really broke down how the 4 big contenders right now, and there's actually a lot more than 4, are broken up into the 4 sections of the battle. So in that bottom left, James Dean versus Max Heidrich, that's huge. So you got a local legend going against, a worldwide legend. And really for James, it's not an easy battle. After that, another highlight, Piotr Vichek, Fionn Roach. That is not an easy battle for either of them. Fionn is completely on pace on this one. Piotr has to win this. He's got to get through in order to solidify this championship and try and increase that lead against the rest of his competitors. And another one for me. This is kind of one that I think people glossed over, but Juha Putelakso and Nasser Alabari, this one to me is going to be really, really interesting to wrap up top 32. So it's just a very good stylistic matchup.
It certainly is. And you know what? I look at this and I think every battle could be a top 32. We're speaking to a lot of the guys before we went live, and they said, look, even qualifying now is like winning an event. That's how tough Drift Masters is. Things aren't easy anymore, and it's not going to get easier as we move through the day. And as the sun sets here in Germany, the temperature may drop, but the track gets stickier and things get heated inside the car. As the lights go out, it gets closer to the final, closer to one step of taking that championship. Who will it be this weekend? We're about to find out, because ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick off top 32. Well, he said it wasn't going to be easy. He said that a top 32 exit isn't what he needs this weekend, but now he's under increasing amount of pressure. Conor Shanahan in the burnout box with the Finnish superstar, the wild card that started off his journey into Drift Masters, but now a full-time driver. Jarkko Yula looks down at Conor Shanahan and says, I have nothing to lose in this championship. You have it all on the line this weekend.
Yeah, and for Jarkko Yula, he's a driver that the judges, everybody watching in practice was doing incredibly well, and then got into this by the skin of his teeth. Literally the last person to make it into qualifying at the very, very end. It was incredible. I was on the edge of my seat on that run. So this is everything to gain, and as you said, for Conor Shanahan, everything to lose. So this is going to be a tough one for both drivers.
Yeah, it certainly is. I spoke to Jarkko Yula earlier on today down in the tyre warming area, and he said I broke a drive shaft on initiation last night. He said the track was so grippy when the sun went down that every driver was struggling. Everyone, the whole chat around the paddock was, can anyone put together a really nice clean run and top qualifying? And well, this young man did it. He also won the qualifying showdown and now starting to claw points back on Peter Vichek. But we're going to find out more about that as we move through. We wait for the light to go green as they creep off the line. It's the first battle of top 32 here in Germany in Ferropolis for round 6. And Shanahan leads out Jarkko Yula, but Yula's not going to go down without a fight as he sticks it to the door of the young Irishman already. But Shanahan, that perfect lead line is exactly what the judges are looking for. Jarkko Yula now trying to deal with it as he tucks that big JZX 100 onto the side, but backs out of it, fearful of hitting the wall as they transition into 5. Jarkko Yula goes for a dive onto the front wheel, almost tags the side of the GT86 as Shanahan puts it to the wall and across the line.
Oh man, just fantastic way to kick this off. This is such an amazing battle between these two drivers. Same platform when it comes to the engine, which always makes for a great run. A chassis very, very different, handle very, very different, but the way that both drivers are able to get around this run, phenomenal. So Conor Shanahan just picking up where he left off last night, right back into it. Lead run was absolutely incredible, and Jarkko Yula gets aggressive in this, and this is something that we really want to see as he's developed as a driver, is to be more aggressive, really get on the doors of drivers. Almost overcommits just a little bit into 4, and we're going to see it here. Jarkko Yula pop into frame right like that and has to back out. You can see how he has a little bit of an over rotation, but doesn't panic, doesn't freak out, gets back on throttle. Great transition. That is what the judges are looking for. And Jarkko Yula doing what Conor Shanahan normally does in the chase with these incredibly well-timed and well-positioned transitions, getting into outside zone 4. So this is not an easy battle now for Conor Shanahan. Matt's his spotter is going to be on his headset and say, look, he made one small bobble at 4. Other than that, he had you all the way around.
Yeah, he certainly did. And talking to the judges earlier on, and as you guys heard earlier from David Kalas explaining that it's not all about the line for the chase driver, it's all about proximity and symmetry on the transitions is what they're looking for, making those dives at the right time to get into the pocket and keep that good proximity throughout the run. So Jarkko Yula may have dropped out outside zone 4, but nevertheless, Conor Shanahan needs to put down an equal or better chase run.
Yeah, and as much as the temperatures are much more manageable today than they were into yesterday, I mean, it's come down probably 7 or 8 degrees. It's still tough on these cars.
Yeah, well,
tough.
we're approaching just over halfway point of the day, I guess, for what we're going to class as halfway point today anyway. And now we're at the hottest point of the day. So we're looking around 27 degrees, apparently. So, yeah, it's still very hot out there on circuit and hot inside those cars.
Thankfully, we've got a little bit of wind, though, hoping to hopefully blow a bit of the smoke out of here, because this place can act like a bowl and hold all that smoke in, which doesn't make it easier on the second run. So another thing the drivers have to compete with.
Yeah, certainly so. So here we go, off the line. Jarkko Yula now to lead out Conor Shanahan for a spot in the top 16 awaits, and a nice initiation, flexes the whole back end at JZX 100 up the wall, puts himself right where he needs to be and opens the door for Conor Shanahan. Shanahan staring down the barrel, looking to get into the pocket of Jarkko Yula's JZX as they get into outside zone 4. Nice line so far from Yula, giving Shanahan all the opportunity to get nice and close. And Shanahan not taking the opportunity, but now starts to rein him in, now starts to dive on the door and mirrors the angle across the line.
Ooh, is this going to be enough for Conor Shanahan? Because, I mean, already starting to pick apart the chase runs, because both leads were pretty good there. Jarkko Yula using every little bit of the rear end through outside zone 2 to kind of get that bumper compressed, and there's a bit of a gap there on the first outside zone, and you can see Conor Shanahan having to cut a little bit of that line to really dial it in. Look at that. That's one of the biggest advantages to that car. Now, I know the judges, they want you more or less just kissing the wall all the way through, but for Jarkko Yula, you can go deep into that zone. It's not going to affect a lot of it, so you can use that to a bit of an advantage. And look at the way Conor Shanahan able to hunt him down with this beautiful drone view. So one of my favorite views in drifting because you can't hide from it.
No.
Every mistake is telegraphed all the way up there, and there's Conor Shanahan doing what we know him doing the best,
Look at
which is just an incredible chase run, always finishing it right on the door, marking it up. It's that final Shanahan stamp at the end of the run. So we'll see.
We'll see.
This is a tough one right off the bat.
I think you need to take a lot into consideration this weekend. If you're sitting at home watching this and you want to be an armchair judge, I think you need to take into consideration lead and chase. And here we go. Decision's going to drop him. Left for Yula, right for Conor Shanahan. There we go. Unanimous. Conor Shanahan gets the win and advances through to the top 16. And I'm going to say right now, it was outside zone 1, the amount of depth into the wall, and the judges are looking at me saying, Ian, you could be the best drift judge in the world because you know it all.
Wow. That's, I mean, hey, if you're ever looking for a new job, not saying I want you out of here, but
you never know. One day.
Let's move from the left side to the right side.
I just sit the other side of you and do David's job.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't pay me enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you just couldn't. There wouldn't be enough snacks, Red Bull, or anything else available to give me that job.
All right,
just putting it out there. Here we go. Back on the line we go for the next battle of the weekend. It's going to be Dwayne McKeever versus Clint Van Oort. Clint Van Oort shook those bugs, got those bugs off his back this weekend, managed to put down a really good qualifying run. Dwayne McKeever still carried in that bad luck, that misfortune into his first qualifying run, but got it done on the second. And now Clint Van Oort, the lower qualifier, is going to sit in that chase position. And Dwayne McKeever ready to lead him out as they get ready. Car slam into gear. Clint Van Oort looking laser focused. A man that won the Iron Drift King event back here last year when Drift Masters took a small break from Germany. Here we go. Door slam shut for Dwayne McKeever. And that carbon Kevlar S13 into gear. They come off the line. It's McKeever to lead out. Clint Van Oort for a spot in the top 16. And McKeever and Van Oort would both want this more than anything after a bad year for both of them. Nice line for McKeever at the moment as he now starts to open up the throttle, put that car right where it needs to be. Good transition, but Clint Van Oort still in the pocket, still in the zone as he looks for the door, looks for the front wheel, that 180 SX. They fire through outside zone 4 and a little mistake there from Clint Van Oort as he scuffles and wanders and wavers and tries to get himself into the fight, onto the wheel and onto the door.
Yeah, Clint's car looks really, really hooked up, and it would seem like he was kind of trying to hold things back. Now, Dwayne's always going to lay down a really quick run, but to me, it seemed like he's aiming for a bit more of that style, aiming for a little bit more angle, and maybe not as fast as what Clint was kind of expecting him to be, but it was a very, very smooth run from Dwayne all the way through. Clint Van Oort has just been developing so quick in practice. Looked like he was trying a couple of different things, even outside zone 4. At one point, shooting the bumper, or shooting the trunk completely off the car. But look at Dwayne, completely locked in, as we've said. The only thing that's taken him out recently has just been mechanicals because he is so consistent, so aggressive all the way through this run. And Clint does a really good job, especially through the latter half of this battle. The first part seemed almost a bit too aggressive, trying to figure out what the pacing and the speed was going to be coming out of Dwayne, but does a really good job of reining everything else in after that as we have all the air guns out there, these drivers just trying to stay cool, keeping the cars cool. We're already seeing a couple of interesting things. I noticed with the Shanahans, they're propping the front and the rear of the hood up to try and get a bit more airflow going under the hood, but there's always Marcin and our start line officials there with some leaf blowers to keep things cool.
Yeah, keeping these cars going is going to be the battle of the day, and the drivers, as we say, temperatures will start to drop here in Germany now, but still putting the cars through their paces after 2 very, very hot days of competition. These guys now pull back to the line. Clint Van Oort to lead out Dwayne McKeever. The man from the Netherlands, can he take down the Northern Smoke Machine? As he comes off the line and through the gears, Dwayne McKeever now in tow as they fire through. Nice early initiation from Clint Van Oort. He's shallow on outside zone 1, and McKeever has to back out of it. Now going to try and find himself back in as Clint Van Oort goes nice and deep into outside zone 3. Looks for the transition back and floats that car into outside zone 4, but it opens the door massively from McKeever as McKeever now squeezes that 180 SX into the pocket, onto the side of that yellow S14. They fire through into outside zone 6, and there's no shaking the Northern Smoke Machine as they go towards the wall and across the line.
Yeah, it really, really showed on the lead up to that just how fast Clint Van Oort's car was. Dwayne does a good job of pacing him out, and it worked a little bit in Clint's favor, but I do think it came back to bite him in a few spots as well. When the car is that grippy, you've got to force everything to get out to all those zones, and wasn't able to really fulfill it, and that did provide that opportunity. You can see how much of a decel and for how long Clint is outside of outside zone 1. You are allowed to decel through outside zone 1, but there is a pretty definitive stopping point for that decel marked blocked by the orange code. Might have gone past it. Hard to tell with that angle, but Dwayne does a good job of anticipating that. Really makes up for it in that transition going into 4. Looks so solid. These in-cars can give you an idea of how tight that transition is. We come through 5, 6, and 7, and Dwayne completely locked in. It almost feels like Dwayne's wanting to push even harder in the chase, but having to hold himself back a little bit to make sure that doesn't cause any contact or any sort of controversy with that. So, great run.
Yeah, just looking back there, and the transition from 4 to 5, Klim van Oort was late on that transition. Look at that,
wow.
The quarter panel completely destroyed. Oh, down to the cords. Oh, the tyre completely delaminated.
Yeah, not much
down
left.
to the cords.
Well, we said yesterday that this wouldn't be a tire battle, but I mean, words removed now because it's turning into a tire battle. They are dialing in so much grip.
Yeah, look at these two guys, two good friends behind the scenes, always driving together in practice, and it goes to show how much trust they have in each other as we await the judge's decision to fall in. And you can see the beautiful scenes around here at the Iron City Drift Island in Ferropolis in Germany.
Yeah, it's such a unique facility with all the machinery, and I mean, being close to that lake, it's such a great place to come and hang out. I mean, regardless of a drift event, it's just a cool place.
It certainly is. We'll slide them left for McKeever, right for Klim van Oort. Who's it going to be? It's one vote for McKeever. It's going to be Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne McKeever gets the win, advances through to the top 16, and we do say goodbye to Klim van Oort.
Already setting up a crazy battle for top 16. Not trying to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to calm down.
Following along at home.
Just 4 battles in, yeah. If you're sitting at home and you're looking through, well, you'll see what's going on. Here we go, back on the line, though. Zakaril take on Oliver Randalu. Marco Zakaril swapping out that engine to that Volkswagen power plant for 2025 and said he's had no end of luck. So Marco Zakaril, the higher qualifier, opting to chase first.
Oh, interesting.
So Marco Zakaril opting to chase first. These guys have had quite a bit of practice this morning, a few hours of seat time in these weather conditions, so they might have now realised that there is a change with the tyre wear compared to yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this track has evolved so quickly.
Yeah.
And so, it's just a completely different track from practice 1 to the end. And some of the most practice we've had this season has been this weekend. So,
yeah, it certainly is. Well, there we go. Randalu slams that car into gear, gets ready to leave the line. It's going to be Oliver Randalu from Estonia to lead out Marco Zakaril from the Czech Republic. And Marco Zakaril left sleeping a little bit there, going to have to do some work, but shy on that first outside zone is Oliver Randalu as he starts to get into it now, goes wide for outside zone 3 and opens the pocket, opens the door as Oliver Randalu takes a step in. He said that car's nimble and fast, and it looks like it certainly is. Both BMWs go deep on outside zone 4. They look for the transition back full throttle from Randalu, no messing around, trying to drive away from the Czech driver as he puts it towards the wall. Zakaril is right there.
The initiation on this is something I really want to take a look at because Oliver Randalu looked like he might have initiated and then had to reinitiate. So we might be able to see it here. So add angle and then has to add even more angle just before outside zone 1. And we'll see how that comes into play with the judges. And Marco Zakaril does a good job of adapting to that and then starts to really reel in Randalu throughout this. Great transition there. Randalu's car is quite quick. Bit of a left foot brake there. It seemed like it slowed the car down in that section of outside zone 4. Zakaril, he's just adapting to everything that Oliver Randalu is throwing at him throughout this run. So great job there, especially as a driver slows down in front of you. You kind of have to decide how much you're going to react to it. But for Marco Zakaril, any of his adjustments were very subtle, very slight, and didn't seem like he's panicking or doing anything strange in the chase. Oliver Randalu looked pretty good, but that almost double initiation may come back to haunt him when we come through our judging decision later on.
Yeah, certainly so. And as we say, the judges going to have a tough weekend, and so going to be some tough decisions to make for them. There were yesterday in qualifying, as we see Marco Zakaril on the line, getting that car cooled down. And Oliver Randalu talking to one of our marshals down there. That'll be Peter he's having a word with. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, not sure on that one. Maybe trying to cool things off. So we see the sprayers out there, kind of cooling off the rads, but...
Well, it looks like it could be all right. He was down there in the burnout box. I wonder if there was an issue maybe with Oliver Randalu.
Swamping him out now. Marco Zakaril will take over in the lead. Had a great time in qualifying, and see if that continues on now.
Yeah, certainly so. So we get the green light. Zakaril to lead out Oliver Randalu from Estonia as they fire through. Nice initiation from Zakaril. Look at this on the throttle, nice and a bit deeper into outside zone 1. And Oliver Randalu now opens up the throttle. And Zakaril, that car nimble and easy to move around as he fires it through. But don't forget, Oliver Randalu with the winner of round 2 in Spain. can he do? He needs to get some form back. A nice transition from Randalu as he goes to the back bumper. But look at this from Zakaril. He's up and gone, and there's no catching the driver for the Czech Republic.
Zakaril is absolutely on one. What an incredible run there from Zakaril. One of the best runs we've seen out of him, period. And yeah, for Oliver Randalu, I kind of became a spectator through a lot of this battle. I don't know if he was expecting Zakaril to be that fast off the go. Right out of the dig, looks great. Look at how he is placing that car. Adds a little bit more angle coming through one, slows the car down. Oliver Randalu having to really add a ton of angle just to slow down. It seemed like maybe he got caught out a little bit on the launch and then had to just try and make up for wasted time, but Zakaril, man, very smooth through this entire run. Oliver Randalu having to cut a bit of line there. Judges did say they don't mind you cutting a bit of line to make sure the proximity is there, so
yeah,
that is something that is you're going to see a little bit more frequently here. But I mean, it didn't matter how much he was cutting. He was not able to keep up with Zakaril throughout this whole thing.
No, and you know, we'll kind of say that they've pulled a gap, which is not easy on this track because of the amount of transitions. You can make a nice dive and get back into the pocket easily. So you can see, look at this, Randalu looking at the tyres, saying,
interesting.
Looking at Zakaril's tyres as well. Here we go, decisions in. Simon left for Zakaril, right for Oliver Randalu, and it's going to be Marko Zakaril from the Czech Republic gets the win. And I think even Oliver Randalu knew, being a spectator in that chase, that he wasn't going to get the win.
Yeah, you know, when you're in the lead, you may or may not be able to see back and understand exactly how close that car is, but you watch some of the in-car, Zakaril. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it.
Look at this, brought a whole host of fans who are in from the Czech Republic this weekend, and those guys will be chanting his name, waving the flags and cheering him on this weekend. He's got the whole nation behind him.
Every time he was in the burnout box, you could hear it. You know it's him. And the whole, that whole section absolutely going off.
Well, here we go. An interesting one on the line right now. Juha Rittinen, a European drift OG, as we like to call him, against a Japanese drift OG. It's going to be Rittinen to take on Naoki Nakamura. Rittinen, the higher qualifier, sits in that lead position. Two identical machines. Two JZ
beat me.
GR86s side by side.
Slightly different.
Slightly.
I asked him earlier, I'm like, this sounds different. Did you change something? He goes, oh, this is the other car. And I'm like, I knew it. It's just the two-step, the anti-leg, a little different. Nakamura, though, on form in practice today. This should be great.
This should be great. Here we go. It's man versus man as the machine is equal as they fire in. A nice early initiation from Nakamura as he looks down the side of the other GR86 as they fire into that second outside zone. Rittinen on an absolute flyer, looking cool, calm and collected earlier today in practice. Oh, and he got deep into the wall. And they bang wheels, and Rittinen carries on, but big contact. And they both had to shut it down. Yeah, that is a big amount of contact on the back of that car.
Yeah, that was really, really interesting. Looks like, I mean, both drivers are good. That is good. Tough to tell there. Oh, I'm seeing a D-bead.
Yeah, that's a completely shattered rear wheel.
Yeah, that was a tough hit. So judges already going back to the replay to try and figure out if there was any contact before.
Well, here we go. Look at this. As you can see, coming through outside zone 3. Nice transition back. I wonder... I think that's an independent incident from Juha Rittinen. I think Rittinen mistimed the transition, but hey, I'm just saying, as always, I'm a drift fan. I'm watching it from, my perspective. You guys may have a different opinion, but I'm going to see it as he tries to get into that zone. Look at this, comes out of 3. It looks almost perfectly timed, but look how far over he goes.
Yeah, that is definitely the wrong spot. Now, there might have been a touch of contact in 3.
Maybe.
But realistically, that is pretty far before. Juha should have made some sort of adjustment before that point, but...
Well, we'll soon get the call from the judges because those guys have the tough task this weekend. As we say, David Kalas, Vernon Svanefeld, Matthias Jedges, and Chris Witowski, our 4th judge on the EVS. And here we go. Yeah, it's in over my headset. Juha Rittinen at fault, bowed out of competition. He can't continue because of the D-bead, so we give the win to Naoki Nakamura and Juha Rittinen out of competition just like that.
Yeah, that's all it takes. I mean, just a little bit too aggressive on that, and that's the way things go. Juha hitting that wall at 60 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
So it was definitely a good hit there, and our Wally system now gives us the ability to be able to scrub back with all the data overlaid, and it's definitely a very helpful tool for the judges and all of us, and see what's going on here with Naoki.
Yeah, well, so Naoki Nakamura will have to initiate and drift the first corner to prove that his car works in a buy run, I do believe, or is he being told? No, so David Kalas has come over and clarified he doesn't need a buy run because there was contact. There we go.
Okay. I mean, that car looked like it might have been a bit hurt anyway, so happy that he's able to get that off track. Couple of pops and bangs to the fans.
Yeah, so normal situation, if there wasn't contact, Naoki would have been made to do the run.
Right.
Because there was contact, and we don't want to give... Naoki doesn't need the time because he's got the win between now and top 16 to fix the car. We're going to excuse the buy run because...
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And
otherwise,
really,
he would have had a
really
10-minute competition timeout, then come back, do a buy run. He's already got the win anyway. It kind of doesn't make sense to do it that way. Anyway, we're moving things on. We're rambling. This is a big one.
This is a big one.
Do you know why it's a big one?
You know what? You tell me. I got some guesses. You tell me.
Because this is legitimately Dave Egan's first battle at Drift Masters in 2025. His rookie season, don't forget, in Spain he qualified. He pulled to the line after cam belt failure in practice. Now he sits on the line with the car working perfectly. He says he feels good, but he goes up against a man who won this event, who has been on the podium more than anybody else at this event. It's Dave Egan from Ireland to take on the Polishman, Paweł Korpulinski, the man that was in the qualifying showdown last night.
Yeah, and arguably one of the best lead runs that's able to provide. I mean, for Dave, this is great, though, because you know you can chase this driver. You can throw it all in, and he's going to be very, very consistent. The hard part's going to be when they change it around. It's, again, Paul's chase is getting crazy good.
It certainly is. Well, Paweł Korpulinski, the higher qualifier, 4th place last night in the qualifying, and in that qualifying showdown. Look at this, Paweł Korpulinski off the line, no messing around, fires that S14 in to that first outside zone. He's up and gone. Egan hits the wall, though, as Paweł Korpulinski now gets himself back into it, fires that car to outside zone 4. It's up and gone, and Dave Egan left in a cloud of smoke as Paweł Korpulinski, the clinical driver, the surgeon, we like to call him, behind the scenes, gets to work on the operating table that is the track and across the line.
Tough go there for Dave. I mean, really, the launch off the line is going to give us a lot of information as to what all happened there. I don't know if Dave was just a bit slow off the go, if he just wasn't able to get the traction down. But for Korpulinski, he was just up and gone right off the shot. Those lights went out, and that was pretty much it. And then Dave having to try and make up ground, but unfortunately gets just a touch offline, maybe into some marbles.
I'll tell you what I think's happened there. I think Korpulinski's got that car absolutely dialed in. We know he's going to have that car dialed up now, turned up to 100, ready for top 32 action. He'll want to take this all the way to the podium that he's been on before. I think he's gone in there as fast as what he normally does, but probably faster than what Dave has done before.
Yeah, I think so. It was a bit of a game of chicken for Paweł. This is every day.
And we'll see this.
Yeah.
As the day moves through, these guys will have changed their setup between qualifying and top 32. And they'll be coming in faster than they were last night. They would make the car almost difficult to drive in top 32 so that they can outdrive the chase car.
Yeah, there's strategy and setup, there's strategy in all of this, and it's not playing games. It's just this is what you have to do to win at this point and at this level. So hopefully everything is all good with Dave. I think he just caught the rear bumper. You see Paweł probably taking a look over, making sure that Dave's car is all right as well. He wants a heads-up battle, and for Dave, got to shake it off and hope that something crazy happens behind him. But right now, he's not in a great spot. So after one run, doesn't even get all the way through. You can already see those tires coming down. So
yeah, well,
this is becoming a grip game for sure.
That right there is our the guy with the grey beanie hat on. That is our technical track technical supervisor.
Got it.
That is Maciek Polity. He makes sure that all the cars and the track are all in good condition for the drivers to drive on. He's checking the car. Look, he just gives Martin, our start line marshal, a thumbs up. Because after contact, there might be a bent arm.
Yeah.
There might be a break in a wheel that no one could see. We didn't see it on the camera. It could be anything. He will check the car and say, no, he's good to run. Here we go. It's going to be Dave Egan now to lead out Paweł Korpulinski. Korpulinski's going to be breathing down his neck in that 2JZ. Powered S14 as Dave Egan takes that carbon Kevlar 2JZ powered A90 Supra to outside zone 1 and fires in. He's now going to try and outdrive the Polishman as he puts it right where it needs to be. And it's a beautiful lead line so far from Dave Egan as he flicks it into outside zone 4. Nice and early, straight into it, full throttle from Egan. And look at this from Korpulinski. Has to shallow up the angle to keep up with the Irishman. As Egan now fires it into 5. He's a little shallow, but he's trying to get away from Paweł Korpulinski as the surgeon just gets himself straight back into it.
I mean, a run like that is so phenomenal to see for Dave. This is such a massive win to be able to get around the track like that, but it also becomes that much more heartbreaking for the mistake that was made before, because this to me is really that definitive proof that we've all been waiting for, that shows that Dave Egan deserves to be here. Unfortunately, a bit of a mistake kicking things off when he was in the chase, but this lead run looks really, really solid for Dave. Gets out to all the zones, fills everything out. I mean, very, very solid run all the way through, and Paweł Korpulinski knows he's got such a massive advantage at the start of this that he can more or less just kind of cruise in the chase, don't do anything too crazy, keep an active chase, but don't
I think that's
overcommit.
it. I think that's what Korpulinski's doing. Korpulinski is sitting back saying, look, I'm not going to go mad.
Yeah.
I know there was contact. Look at Dave Egan pointing over at Korpulinski. Look, hats off to Dave Egan, the first battle of 2025 in the books for him. Slide him left for Egan, right for Korpulinski. And it's going to be the Polishman. Pavel Korpulinski goes and advances through to the top 16. You know what? Congratulations to Dave for making it into qualifying and making it into the first battle.
Yeah.
Not an easy task.
No. Finally got that under his belt, and now he gets to focus on winning a top 32. So another massive, massive battle here lining up. This is just another one. I mean, two drivers, I mean, really, really coming into their own on this one. They only let us pick a couple of battles to highlight, but this is another one
They
for
let
me.
you pick some battles. They said we don't care what Ian thinks anymore.
You had years of it, so, you know, they're trying to balance that a bit now. But yeah, man, Jakob Kroll, Uran Nilsen, just another great stylistic matchup. Both very aggressive drivers. Both drivers trying to kind of make a bigger name, right? Really try to push in top 8 and explode on the scene. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Here we go. It's going to be Norway versus Poland on the line. Jakob Kroll, the higher qualifier, opts to lead first as Oran Nilsen asked to chase him down. They sit on the line ready to rock and roll. Both two JZs, one to Sora, one Carbon Kevlar, S14.9. And here we go. No tail lights left in the back of that Sora as they pop off the line and through the gears. But look at this, Nilsen on the back bumper already. No messing around. Nilsen at an angle and out of outside zone 1 is Pavel Korpulinski. The judges will be looking at that. As now, Jakob Kroll, as Jakob Kroll fires through, looks for outside zone 4. It's a nice early transition into it, but there's no shaking the Norwegian. As Oran Nilsen looks down the side, perfect transition. Both guys get into the wall, into the zones, and Oran Nilsen gets onto the door across the line.
Wow, Uran Nilsen, man, what a chase run. And off the kick on this one, I mean, Jakob Kroll might have had a bit of an issue. It looked like where that line is, that separating line, it might have been just a touch over. Uran Nilsen does use that a bit to his advantage, able to keep on that inside, and you can see scrubbing it just a touch of angle there for Jakob Kroll to try and make it out to 2, because outside zone 1 did not go to plan.
I wanted to see it from that view.
Yeah.
Because I was like, did he get hit?
Yeah.
Because Nilsen was so close.
Well, Jakob Kroll was so far over, though. I mean, he was right on that line, that initiation line. He's a little bit too far to the left, and I think that created a bit of an issue for him. But Uran Nilsen didn't want to completely go off track. No. He's kind of pushed off track. Does a great job. Does a really, really good job throughout this whole run. So Jakob Kroll, I mean, not having the start that he wanted, but the rest of the run looks solid. Uran Nilsen not shook, even with that mistake out front. You can panic in those situations. The lead driver comes way over. In the chase, you still need to provide that opening for them, but there is a point where that lead driver shouldn't be crossing over.
Exactly that. Well, there we go. Food for thought, Jacob. Food for thought. A lot to process is what you like to say.
Yeah. Process. Which one? Is it you process?
No, I process.
Process? All right.
Let's process this one, that's for sure, as they come off the line. It's going to be Oran Nilsen take on Jakob Kroll. Kroll fails to initiate very late as he clutch kicks that Carbon Kevlar S14.9. Now goes deep into the wall, takes the back end off, and it's all falling apart for Jakob Kroll as Oran Nilsen gets himself up and gone. He's driving away deep into outside zone 4, and Kroll does not have an answer for the Norwegian as he comes up short, but now makes a huge mistake. Contact in the middle of the circuit. They're on the wall. What is happening in Germany?
Wow, everything, everywhere, all of the time. That was wild. That's one of those situations where you think a driver is going to completely run away with it, and Jakob Kroll actually hits Uran Nilsen and pushes him into the correct zone. So kind of a, hey, let's
I'm
go.
going to just throw it out there. I'm going to say that I think Nilsen would have spun.
I think so. I really do. But yeah, Jakob Kroll, nowhere to be found on initiation.
Hits the wall.
Catches the wall. Uran Nilsen looks so solid all the way through this. And I'm curious. So now we're coming through outside zone 4. There's Jakob Kroll trying to hunt him down. And it's going to be this transition after outside zone 4 where things get a little bit hairy for the Norwegian. Comes off here. Into 5, just a ton of angle in 5. Look, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, he had backed out of it.
I think so.
And then Kroll hit him. Watch this, the smoke starts to stop. Bam! Kroll hits him and forces him to go.
Listen, one of us needs to move on. Go forth, my son. Pushes him through and allows him to make our 7th and final outside zone. Oh, look at on the lock stop. You can see it completely nowhere else to go with it. And that hit is what did it. Oh, that was pulling out an ace at the last moment, man. That was total luck there for Uran Nilsen, who could have zeroed in the lead. completely independent. Oh, that is
That got interesting real quick.
Yeah.
And now, look, judges are going to look at this and say, well, Croll missed outside zone 1 on the lead. Mistakes from Nilsen in the lead.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard for the judges. I think things are going to start heating up. Things are going to start getting a little bit difficult now as these guys move through competition. Here we go. Slide them left for Nilsen, right for Jakob Kroll. It's going to be Jakob Kroll getting the win, advancing through. David, we're going to come to you for a quick explanation.
Yeah, basically I need to say that Orion almost had it in his pocket until the outer zone 5, where he possibly lost his tires and started to over-rotate. To get away from that over-rotation, he needed to slow down a lot, but he was in completely wrong position. He's far away from outer zone 6, and he's also slowing down in place where Chaser is not anticipating that. And then there is a contact and spinning of the Chaser, and then we need to decide who is to blame. And because of that 2 big mistakes from Orion, we needed to blame for that. Unfortunately, Orion, and Jakob Kroll is going through.
Thank you very much, David. And yeah, there we go.
Interesting.
Jakob Kroll getting the win. And
Interesting.
losing the tyres.
Maybe this is a story.
Yeah.
This is what we need to be focusing on.
Well, here's the story. It's going to be James Dean to take on the local hero, Max Heidrich. Max Heidrich sits on the line, a wildcard driver this weekend, making his way back to Drift Masters. James Dean in the fight for the championship, currently sitting 3rd in the points. Championship contentions on the line right now, and Max Heidrich would have battled James Dean many, many times in the past, but now comes back to Drift Masters and says, it's all over again, I've got to do it once again, I've got to battle James Dean. They sit on the line. It's S13.9, 0.5?
Something.
Who knows? It's something, but it's going to be a Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D to lead them out. The higher qualifier comes off the line as they get the green light, and James Dean flicks that Mustang from left to right. Max Heidrich in toto, down on the inside as Dean stands on the front. Max Heidrich looks for the front wheel as they come through outside zone 2 and 3. Heidrich can't be shaken as they transition into outside zone 4. A little lost ground there from Heidrich as he has to get himself back into it. Starting to throw that S13 around as Dean goes for those final 2 outside zones. Heidrich goes for the door as he squeezes it across the line.
Oh, yeah, that's... I mean, for Max Heidrich, battle for the ages. Local legend versus worldwide legend. Great lineup here. James Dean, it's business as usual. Get out there, get through top 32. Let's, put everything out there without going absolutely mental. Keep a little bit back. Don't know if that's always going to be the best strategy against Max Heidrich, who is very much a win it or bin it kind of driver. A driver that always in practice trying to win it, just going out, throwing everything at the wall, tries a lot of different lines, tries a different ways to transition, but does a pretty good job here in the chase. And there's James Dean, those eyes locked in. You can actually see his eyes moving from different parts of the corner as he's staring down where he needs to go. It's fascinating to see how these drivers are able to operate in this track in particular, because it is just a pinball machine. It's walls everywhere. And Max Heidrich, I mean, such a great job there in the chase. I like how he kind of comes back a little bit in the chase, the way he's able to nose in on transition and get the back end to swing around to kind of mirror the rest of it. It's maybe not as parallel or in unison as the judges are really hoping for. They want them to transition at the exact same time. Max Heidrich is a little bit behind it, but does it in a very unique way. For James Dean, though, it's just, solid as we see some hands.
No.
Where are these hands going?
Oh, and it looks like we've lost a belt. And it looks like the James Dean, you can see that now. So they're going to start the car again, and I think the mechanics are just going to send him. I think they're going to say, look, go for it. James Dean looks visibly aggravated inside the car, shaking his head. Oh, and he punches the steering wheel. James Dean starts to take off the hands device. And he goes to start the car, and the car won't start, Jacob. This could be top 32 out, and I apologise on behalf of everyone here at Red Bull TV for the language you're hearing from James Dean, but you can understandably see the upset from James Dean.
This is the toughest part.
I'm just waiting to hear it over my headset if he's confirmed out. I mean, he's undone his helmet and his harnesses are coming off. We're just waiting to find out. Is he out of competition? I guess the 2-minute clock, there we go. Look, you can see the clock in the background. The time has run out for James Dean to get that car back onto the line, and he shakes his head. And a man that has always got a smile on his face looks absolutely disheartened right now.
He's trying to find that smile. It's tough. I mean, nobody wants to go out over mechanical, especially over something like a belt. don't know if it was a serpentine belt or hopefully it wasn't dry sump and there was no engine damage.
Well, Max Heidrich did what he had to do, and that was leave the start line.
Wow.
And Max Heidrich jumps out of the car, and he's going to go straight back to James Dean. And he shakes his head, Max Heidrich, because he would not want this. No driver would. You know, we've said this time and time again. I often get asked, why do teams help other teams out? And that's because they don't want them to win a battle through a mechanical. They would rather help them fix the car and then go beat them on the track. That's what drifting is.
Yeah, it's... I almost want to listen in.
Man, it was awesome. Sorry, dude. It's okay.
And look at this, James Dean trying to... And we need to make it official, ladies and gentlemen.
Alternator belt.
Oh, there you go. It looked like an auxiliary belt. It slides right. It's going to be the German driver. Max Heidrich gets the win and advances through. As we can see Becky down there. He's got a smile on his face, but it'll be a broken smile because he wouldn't have wanted to win that way. And wow, big championship implications going on right there, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely massive.
Well, there we go. Becky's down there with Max. Becky, he must be happy, but not in the right way.
Absolutely, Ian. Max, I know that this is not the way that you wanted to win. We're delighted to have you back here at Drift Masters.
To be honest, that's the first time my daughter's at a track. Yeah, that's not I want to win the battle, but I'm so delighted to be in top 16. I'm shaking. I'm so thankful. Thank you. See you in the top 16.
Do you want to say anything to your fans out here? Because there are so many German fans shouting for you.
They are amazing. Thank you to everyone that came out. Danke, Leute. Wir sehen uns heute Abend am Zelt.
Guys, emotions running high. Wow, top 32.
Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, emotions running high. And you know, we lost Max Heidrich. He gave an interview with Becky many years ago, 2023, I think it was, 2022 maybe. And he said, I'm retiring from Drift Masters because I'm having a family, I'm building a family home in Germany, and I just don't have the funds, the time to do it all. And Max Heidrich makes a return to Drift Masters for the first time in a long time, gets the win in top 16, qualifies as a wildcard driver, does it with his family here at the track and all his fans. What a way to do it, and he's visibly emotional. We move it along though, the action doesn't stop, and emotions run high all around the place. As now Kevin Pesur sits on the line against Conor Falvey. Pesur, the higher qualifier, says to Conor Falvey, whose car had an impact with the wall in practice, you lead first.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if you think somebody might have that damage, why not? Let them go up front, see what happens.
Oh, did you know what I love about Kevin Pesur? Ice cold.
Oh,
he's like a refrigerator. He is ice cold. He's like the best air conditioning unit the whole place has ever seen. He's so steely. The eyes, the laser focus. But look at this. The young gun, the rookie of the year in the Drift Games Carbon Kevlar S15 looks focused for the green light, and he comes through the gears as Falvey leads them out for a spot in the top 16 and waits for one of them. They fire down, and Falvey says, this year I need a podium, but Pesur's already been on it. And look at the lead line from Falvey already. It opens the door as Kevin Pesur sticks that car where it needs to be, now starts to find the side, biting, taking chunks out the sides of the S15 as Falvey looks for the transition. Pesur's with him, there's no shaking him as Kevin Pesur goes for it once again. Falvey on that wide line, push it to the wall and across the line.
Oh man, Falvey's, the way Falvey gets that car initiated is so aggressive, just absolutely snaps a massive clutch kick, and yeah, just huge run there. But really, Kevin Pesur at no point lets him really get away. They get into that first outside zone. Kevin's basically watching, trying to see, is there going to be some sort of issue? Is that mechanical going to come back to haunt the young Irishman? And it doesn't. And now he knows, okay, it's game time. Let's go. Locks into the side of Conor Falvey, who's throwing a great angle. This transition is so solid from both drivers. Completely in unison all the way through outside zone 4. This is where Pesur now starts to intimidate the young driver. And then as they come into 5, look at this, lines it up and dives into the pocket. If he didn't get on the throttle there, he was going into no man's land. He was basically in the grandstands at that point, and then splits off right at the end. That last little
They hit. I was just going to say, they hit across the line.
Okay.
So I'm looking across. We on our other monitor, me and Jacob have the same replay system as the judges. And it was from the drone shot, we see the contact. Now, the judges are looking at another angle. It's from the drone above the finish line where Kevin Pesur and Conor Falvey made contact. Now, this is going to play deeply into the rule book, Jacob.
Yeah.
because they now need to deem who's at fault. Is Falvey slowing? Or did Kevin Pesur push too hard across the line? You've got the Wally system. You're looking at that. You tell us how about that. And I'm going to now explain. Look at this. As they come through, Kevin Pesur on the door. You can see Falvey still full throttle. Bam, contact. Rear wheel to rear wheel.
Yeah, so...
And then we're going to see it from this angle as well, Jacob. Watch this as they come through. You can see it. Ready? Boom.
So what that angle is not showing, though, is that Conor Falvey looks like he catches a bit of wall in the last outside zone and has a very, very slight decel, while Pesur is on a slight acceleration. So it is just a perfect storm in this issue. So Falvey just catches a little bit of wall, pulls out maybe a touch of angle as he's coming out of it, and it's all happening at the exact same time. While that happens, Pesur trying to pick up that gap on looks like about 2 kilometers an hour faster, and then makes that contact. So it is really, really tough. I'm sitting here on the Wally system, scrubbing back and forth.
I'm watching the Wally system. I'm looking at what's going on. I'm looking at the replay. We have so much information to our hands. I really wish that we could get that Race Data Labs Wally information out to the masses, to the people.
Yeah.
We need Michael to release this so people could go online and look at it. This shouldn't be hidden information. Everyone should be able to access this.
And in situations like this, it's huge. It's huge.
It won't determine the judging decision. You know, the judges will still make a decision between the 3 or 4 of them. But the Wally system will do what you just did. It will help them decide what happened, where were they. I think the hardest thing about this is it was across the finish line.
Yeah, it's right at the absolute end of this. So this gets very close to a similar situation that we had in Ireland. So that's where I start to go back to, and what's the precedent that was set in that situation as well. So
and if you're wondering, if you're new to Drift Masters, you're wondering what the Wally system is, you're like, what are they talking about? Is this a guy? It's not. You see it on the roof of the cars. It's a black box with a little aerial. That is a GPS tracking system that fitted to the cars before they go out for qualifying runs, before their top 32 battle. And it's just a help for us. It helps the judges. It gives them that information. You can see it right there on the top of Conor Falvey's car and right there on the top of Kevin Pesur's car. That is feeding information back to Michael at Race Data Labs in our office right now, and he's looking at all the information. He's feeding that information to the judges via our iPads and to Jacob, because I'm not allowed it apparently because I can't work an iPhone.
Well, it's okay. We just don't need computers crashing all around us here, but it's just a really, really interesting situation based on where that contact happens and where both drivers are at that time.
Interesting, because the judges were watching all of the replays, so they looked at all the angles that you guys just see on the broadcast, and now they're looking at the Wally system.
Yeah, so they're going to use all the traditional tools first.
Methods, yeah.
Yeah, so basically they'll make all their decisions as close to as possible with the I guess normal system that you've got. And then if it's still tough, or maybe they can find something definitive, then they'll swap over and look at the Wally system. And the Wally system is basically a 3-dimensional replay that you can rotate around. It really is incredible, and it gives data like angle, change of speed, where they are on line. All of that stuff is all tracked. It's incredibly accurate, scary accurate. And they'll start to use that to be able to determine who's at fault, where the contact happens. There's a lot going on.
Okay, so we're hearing it over our headset, ladies and gentlemen. Conor Falvey deemed at fault. Conor Falvey deemed at fault by the judges. We're going to go to the judge. Here we go, decisions in. It's going to slide left for Kevin Pesur. David Kalas, I'm going to have to come to you to come to that decision and find out exactly what happened. David.
Yeah, the problem was the contact exactly at the finish line. We needed to find out what happened there. That's why it took us so long, because we've been looking on different angles, also into our systems. And what we can see is that Conor is getting to the wall and hitting the wall first, and then there is a contact with Kevin Pesur. So Kevin did not create that contact. The contact was created because of the contact with the wall. So that's why we called it as a mistake, unfortunately, for Conor Falvey. And as the wheel is damaged too much, he cannot compete anymore.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, and as you know, the rules here at Drift Masters, no 5-minute rules, no changing of tyres, unless you are deemed not at fault. Yeah. Then you can change the tyres on the car. Unfortunately, Conor Falvey knocked out a competition. Oh, man. Tough day for Team Drift Games.
Yeah, rough day, but it is what it is. Judges have their call, and then that's the way things go, and we move on.
We certainly do. Look, it's a risk-reward track. We've spoke about that a lot. You have to push the car to the limit. You have to push it to the walls, but the walls can also not do you any favors.
No, that's the thing. It's the ultimate measuring device because it's not moving. Yeah. So if you are even just a little bit off, you're doing anything a little bit crazy, you're gonna run into that issue. So yeah, this is definitely a wild one as we on board with our current points leader. This is a massive battle for him and an even bigger battle for his opponent, Fionn Roach.
It certainly is. Right, Vichek sits in the tyre warming area, warms the tyres on the back of that A90 Supra and now gets ready to do battle alongside the young Irishman, Fionn Roach. James Dean bows out of competition. The gap now between Conor and Peter starts to open up.
Yeah, and I mean, this also plays into with Jack and Conor because Fionn, he's a teammate of them.
He certainly is.
There's a lot of weight on his shoulders right now to help change this championship and the outlook.
Well, here we go, no messing around, straight onto the line, and Fionn Roach feels like he probably has the world on his shoulders right now to help out his fellow Irishman. Can he take down the man that has won the 2 previous events, the man that has won a 3-time European championship?
Wild. But for Fionn, I mean, it's all pressure, no pressure.
Exactly that. Well, here we go. Gear cars slam into gear. They're off the line, ready to go as Vichek fires through the gears and flicks that A90 Supra to angle, and he's up and gone. And Fionn Roach now, work to be done. Can he close the gap? Can he shell up the angle? A little wobble there from Vichek in the outside zone, but now gets himself dialed, starts to feel comfortable as he squeezes the throttle, starts to drive away as Fionn Roach now puts that car to angle, squeezes it, looks for the side of the A90 Supra, but can he get there? He can't as Vichek gets it to the wall, to the white line and across the line.
Yeah, Piotr's run was fantastic. There was that wobble though. It just shows he is not perfect.
No.
Things can happen. Things can change very, very quickly. So, yeah, there is an opening here for Fionn. It's tough. That Supra is so fast. Coming out of the dig, it's incredibly quick. It's gripped up. He does such a good job. Look at that. Oh, the handwork. E-brake right down into gear. Fionn now falls into line next to Piotr, who does have that moment. I mean, he can't really tell from that on board there, and Piotr just through the rest of these zones. So looks incredibly solid as we get that amazing drone view of exactly how this all operates. And now down to our chase drone. This is just a solid run for both of them. Fionn does a great job, doesn't panic. The Supra is so fast, it transitions so well, and Fionn does a really, really good job of staying in this battle. Would I love for him to be closer? 100%, but you're going after one of the greatest of all time right now, so
yeah.
It's going to be tough.
And you're going against a man that wants everything this year. He wants another win. He knows if he wins this event in Germany, when he goes to the PGA Narodowy in Warsaw in a few weeks' time, that he looks even stronger to win the championship on Polish soil. That is what he would want. Let's sit on the line, ready to rock and roll. It's going to be the young Irishman, Fionn Roach, to lead out Piotr Vichek as they come through the gears and down into initiation. Both guys firing off. A little tag off the wall for Fionn Roach as he has to wait to get back on throttle. Now opens the door, stands on the throttle, but that's opened it up completely for Vichek as Vichek waits for him, and it's not clean for Fionn Roach. A late entry into outside zone 4. He looks for outside zone 5 and now starts to find the edge of the circuit. But Vichek doing a good job trying to chase him down as he now squeezes him across the line.
I really like what Fionn did there. He just threw it. He went and hucked it. I mean, that was one of the biggest initiations he's been pulling all weekend. Full speed all the way through, a ton of commitment, trying to just get out to the edge and even surpassing a bit of the edge of the track on that run, or on the zones. And for Piotr, he's got to stay calm in this moment. Look at this big initiation, but does catch that wall, bumps him out just a little bit, and it makes you wonder, I mean, a couple centimeters difference, could he have completely crushed that zone?
Yeah.
Right? Everything is coming together for Fionn Roach. It is just a shame that this is who he's up against. What an amazing drone shot here. Fionn coming into 4. Not quite as deep through that first section. Piotr does an amazing job of timing that all out. And yeah, this gives me so much hope for Fionn as a driver. He's developed in front of our eyes this entire season, but in top 32, when you're paired up against Piotr Vichek, it's going to be a rough go. And I'm stoked for both drivers on this because I think there's wins on either side.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a win for everyone watching these beautiful shots from our Red Bull production team. Here we go, side of left for Fionn Roach and right for Piotr Vichek. Vichek gets the win. It's unanimous, and Vichek keeps the championship hope alive. Puts his hand up and waves to the fans around the stadium. A sigh of relief as he gets himself in to top 16.
Yeah, this is where we start looking and taking a look at the championship points. There's a lot going on.
And there we go. Becky is down there on the track. Becky, it's all going off here in Germany, and it's only top 32.
It certainly is, guys. I've managed to take a walk up from the track, actually, and catch up with James Dean in his pit area. James, it was all looking so strong until an issue on the line, and I can see with what looks like a belt in your hand. Can you tell us what happened there?
So unlucky. We did a great lead run with Max, and I was excited for this battle, hometown hero, and really happy what we were doing in the lead run. And as I crossed the finish line, I noticed that my battery voltage was low. So I called my team to run down because I wanted to make sure. I had a feeling it was the fan belt, even though it never happened on this car before. But I got my team to run down to make sure that this didn't get tangled and knock off the dry sump belt. So it was very frustrating, nothing we could do, and just a bit of bad luck. But we felt strong in practice. The car has been killing it. The team were doing really well, supporting me. The only issue we had this weekend, and it just happened at the worst time.
I mean, looking at this issue, though, in a way, it's kind of good that it happened where it did, because say this would happen maybe mid-run, it could have been way worse.
Yeah, so this car runs a lithium battery, and when they get to a certain low voltage, they completely turn off, and that's what actually happened while I was waiting, getting the guys to check. The power totally died in the car, and when the power dies, if that happens with speed, you lose your power steering, and if we lost power steering, we were having a massive collision. So at least we can have this car fixed in 2 minutes, which is so frustrating. But it is what it is. It's motorsport. You have to take it on the chin, and we'll be back for Poland, you know? What can we do?
Absolutely, James. It do be one of those weekends. Well, we're looking forward to having you back with us for round 7 and the final at the PGE Narodowe. Go enjoy the sun and the rest of the event. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yeah, a €7 part takes James Dean out of the competition. But hey, it happens. We've seen it with multiple different people. It could happen to any one of these guys on the grid throughout the course of this weekend. We go back to the line. It's going to be Ite Seder to take on Jakub Przgonski. Ite Seder, the higher qualifier, opting to lead first. And this young man would love a taste of the champagne once again after doing good things at round 2 in Spain. All those weeks ago.
I know. It feels like yesterday and also feels like forever ago.
I know, right. Well, it won't be long. We'll be at 2026 round 1. So here we go. We're on the line through the gears. It's going to be Poland chasing down Ite Seder as he fires in that GR86 and a shallow line. And look at this from Jakub Przgonski. No, a weird line as he takes it to the door, tries to almost hit the front wheel of Ite Seder. They get into this outside zone as now Jakub Przgonski gets himself into a formation. They come through outside zone 4. Nice transition back from Ite as he puts it into the outside zone. Przgonski onto the door, onto the side, that BMW 2 Series, and fires it across the line.
Yeah, it told me earlier on he's feeling very comfortable, very confident the way things are going. And I mean, I didn't get a chance to chat with Jakub Przgonski, but did not look great off the go here. So, I mean, off the rip, everything looks completely solid for Ite, but Przgonski, it's just weird. It's caught on this inside line, has to huck this extra bit of angle to try and make it out to the outside zone 3. The rest of the transitions look good, so really curious what all went down there in his car, because it completely out of form. You don't normally see Jakub like this. It's very calculated, so to see a mistake like that is so out of place.
Well, the thing is, this man's been so decorated in other forms of motorsport, Dakar and motorcycles and everything else. He's done it all, and his driving ability in a drift car is just phenomenal. We've seen the stuff he's done on social media, and we've seen what he's done at Drift Masters in the past. We've seen how good he is, how clinical and clean he is in that lead run. There's an odd mistake from Przgonski. You can see how out of position he is on initiation, shall we say. And, you know, I thought maybe it was Ite, but from the drone shot, we always say the drone never lies. Ite was perfect on outside zone 1.
Yeah, a very stable run all the way through, gave every opportunity for Jakub to be able to get into the zone, and it just didn't get the car at angle and hold it that way, and just had to kind of wiggle it around a little bit to find the side of the car.
Yeah, well, here we go, back on the line and to lead him out. Jakub Przgonski now through the gears in that GR86, B58 underneath the bonnet, flicks it to angle already. As he now gets in there and he fails to get to outside zone 1 again, and this is odd from Przgonski, and now Ite Seder can see a wounded deer in front of him, and he's going to go for the kill as he fires through, leaves him some room to transition. As Ite Seder shallows up the angle, goes for the front wheel. Przgonski on a nice wide line, opens the door into outside zone 5, and now Ite on the inside of the circuit, nowhere to be found, and now makes a dive for the final outside zone.
scrappy. As we like to say, that was a scrappy run. You get a little more contact at the end.
I think there was a little contact there on that last outside zone. Wheel on door, and
I think some emotions might be getting a little high up there.
I think there's some angry drivers out there this weekend. I think the heat got to him on the last 2 days.
I think so. It's starting to change some
sunstroke.
Oh, that could be it. Man. For Jakob, though, it's that 1-2. This is kind of signs of what we saw last night. In qualifying, as the temps came down, 1-2 became very difficult for a lot of drivers. And for Ite, I mean, this really should have been his entire battle all the way through, and a few spots where he just wasn't timing the transition right. Look how far inside that zone he is to try and get back through. And for me, it's Jakob is able to keep so much speed and even pick up speed through some of these transitions. And for Ite, just he couldn't do it. So, yeah, really weird one. Look at, almost over rotates coming across the line. So we'll see how that plays out. Zeta out of the car, both drivers out of the car. That was an interesting one. There's some concern.
There certainly is. Slide him left for Prashkonsky, right for Ite, and it's going to be Ite Sada, and it would have been the mistakes from Prashkonsky in lead and chase, and the judges given a little nod across, and Ite Sada moves into the top 16, and we lose the Polishman.
Yeah, this is I mean, big for Ite. We forget so soon how well he did earlier on in the season, because mid-season didn't go great for him, but the signs are coming back. Look good in practice. Looking good now.
There we go. Back on the line we are to a big battle for us. It's going to be Torane Kavia to take on Kevin Pascolti. Kavia, the higher qualifier, opts to lead first. And the Hungarian Kevin Pascolti looking for some success in 2025. And Torane Kavia, well, top qualifying, not been on the podium for a while. He's looking for it. He's hungry for it. The Hungarian, though, hasn't been driving that great all weekend. But pulled it out of the bag last night for qualifying. Can he do that again in top 32?
Hey, listen, you can have a terrible weekend, but as long as you can put it down when you need to, that's all that really matters. And Torane Kavia is just, can he keep himself calm? Because when he gets into it, when push comes to shove, he just pulls out some wild stuff.
Well, there we go. He can drive over aggressive as he comes off the line and through the gears as Torane Kavia flicks that 180 SX to angle. Look at this from Kevin Pascolti, straight down onto the door, straight into formation as they fire through that second outside zone. Kevin Pascolti not letting him get away. He knows he's fast, as he knows the Norwegian's got that style as he flicks it into outside zone 4, full throttle, no messing around. Look at that from Kavia, full tilt as he flicks it into outside zone 5, and a good transition, a good dive from the Hungarian as he goes onto the front wheel, and Kevin Pascolti not letting him get away.
This is another finals level battle here.
Wow.
The driving is so on point here. Torane Kavia, exactly what you expected of him. Tons of speed coming through that entry, doesn't waste any energy in the car with the way he gets things initiated. Just loads it up a little bit on throttle, maybe a clutch kick, gets that car out sideways, and really Kevin Pascolti right there all the way through it. Lines things up between 1 and 2. Another driver, I mean, they both look like they gripped up for a second there, but able to pull through it. The amount of negative rake that's in Torane Kavia's car always makes me laugh, because the rear end of it is always sunk down, but he makes this car drive so well. Kevin Pascolti, though, never overcommits at any point in time. The transitions are absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Scrubs it with angle, gets right into the side of Tor. Right, that is so beautiful. Just, it gets the nose in, finds where the pocket is, gets the car slid in, and it's back on throttle. Beautiful, beautiful runs here from both these drivers. This is, it's another battle I really wanted to highlight, but they only give me so many.
They said one. They said one, and you got 5.
I know. Well, hey, look, I'm pushing for those numbers, but I think as we swing this back around, I mean, as long as everything holds together, we're going to see a very, very similar battle when these drivers swap out, because their styles work so well. Then we see Tor flipping that car back around. Maybe give the tires a quick scrub. They got 2 minutes in between these battles once they come back to either cool the car down. Some of them will re-scrub the front of the tires, really get some heat into them. With the amount of grip that these cars are making in the rear, the front actually becomes a big limiting factor.
It certainly does. Well, there we go. It looks like Kavia is ready to rock and roll. Kevin Pascolti on the line in that carbon Kevlar BMW E92. And you can see that, look at that start line, Marshall Marston just pulling a piece of rubber off that's been picked up from the burnout box.
Interesting. Moves over a little.
Yeah, moves over a little. Okay. Positions the car maybe at an angle to fire in, starts to creep off the line as they get that green light. Pascolti to lead out. Torane Kavia for a spot in the top 16 away. So look at this from Pascolti. He's absolutely ungone. He's along the wall. Perfect line from Pascolti as he stands on the front. A little tag onto the wall. It upsets the balance, but he doesn't put him too far out of formation. Wow, look at this from Kavia. He drives angry. He's through to the door. Wow, look at Kavia. He's all over the outside of Kevin Pascoli. The transitions make no sense. Kvia is glued to Kevin Pascoli, pushing him through the final outside zone.
That's it. That is angry Torna Kvia.
Whoa.
It looked like off the launch. I don't know if you caught it.
Oh, he was gone.
Man, a big hunk of tire comes off of Torna Kvia's car. And maybe we'll see it here. I don't know if it was part of his or whatever.
Boom,
and it looks like he maybe lost traction. But yeah, I mean, Kevin Pascoli was just all drag race all the way through that. And now Tor has to make up a huge gap. At this track, that is a massive gap. Tor does an amazing job of doing that. But will it be too little too late? He made such an impact through the rest of these zones. He's still collecting them. Even though he's got that gap, he does a great job. And then right here, this transition to 4, that was it. Now Torna Kvia all up in his face, right on the door. Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Look at the driving inside the car, on the handbrake, off the handbrake.
Makes it look so smooth, though. It was like 6 corrections just to make sure he was in that pocket. Oh, man.
They must have exchanged paint on that transition. That was beautiful. Look at this. Boom.
I hope they're watching these highlights right now, because this is, oh, man, this is some of the coolest chasing we've ever seen. And props to Kevin Pascoli, who gave him such a stable lead run.
Yeah.
So stable that allowed Tor to be able to do that. That was wild. Oh, man. Can we do it again?
We might have to do it again. Here we go. Start him left for Pascoli, right for Kvia. Who's going to be? It's going to be again. We're going to see him go again. And the judges loved it, and we loved it. Few mistakes both sides. Judges saying a couple of mistakes here and there. We're going to have to see it again. And I'll tell you what, I'm not angry about it.
Now, sometimes dreams come true, Ian.
They do.
We get to see it again. Oh, man.
Well, so those guys
good.
are going to go back to the paddock and reset and try and work out how they do it better. Becky's down there with Torana Kvia. Becky, that was unbelievable.
It sure was, Ian. I just got to Tor there and there was a few expletives, but he knew it was good. I just said that was a beautiful bit of driving there.
Oh, I tried my best. I lost him up the straight here, but I tried to catch him without trying to kill myself in that first corner. But yeah, I got up to it here in the second corner and yeah, kind of pushed him around. He hit the wall pretty hard somewhere. I can't remember, but yeah.
It was very good. I mean, we know how the proximity to these walls can make everything so much tighter, but that was serious.
Oh yeah, I'm just happy I saved that one because I was sure going up the line here in chase position that I lost it. But yeah, I think I made up for it, and thankfully we're going one more time. So now just reset, drink some water, and go at it again.
Absolutely, Tor. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that one more time, guys.
Thank you, Becky. Drink some water. I want to know what's in Torana Kvia's water if he can drive like that, because I need a crate of it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Norwegian water, it's known worldwide.
That and water from Cork, apparently, that's where it's from. Here we go, back on the line. It's going to be Laurie Heidrich to take on the Swiss driver, Yves Meyer. Laurie Heidrich back in that incredible Dodge NASCAR Pro-Charge V8 S13 this weekend. He said he's feeling better than ever. He said he made some suspension changes on the front of the car after practice on Thursday and said the car feels better than it ever has all season. So Laurie Heidrich still developing throughout the season to try and claim something back of this championship. He was a defending champion. Now, unless a miracle happens this weekend, he can't get himself into the fight. They're into gear and off the line. It's going to be Yves Meyer to chase down Laurie Heidrich as Heidrich, the higher qualifier, flicks that car towards the wall. Well, look at that. Yves Meyer makes contact with the front end. Both get themselves back into it, fire through, and Yves Meyer looks like he may have sustained some damage, struggling to get that car to angle. Laurie Heidrich leaves the outside zone a little early, fires into the last 2 outside zones, looks for the finish line and gets it to the wall and across the line.
I'll have to get back on those replays to really understand what happened with that contact, where the decels were going on. I mean, for Yves Meyer, even at the launch there, he was kind of running side by side. Look how close he is behind it, the way he gets that car to angle and so fast, and then pushing out to outside zone 1. Here it is. So, okay. So, big can of worms opened up here, Ian.
Yeah.
You saw it when I did. There is a spot that they are allowed to have that decel. Now, is Lowry back on throttle when he's supposed to be, or is that closing speed from Yves a little bit too quick? So there's going to be a lot. That's cone right there is going to be the definitive thing that is going to go back and forth with this.
Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. If you guys hadn't heard, there are cones on the circuit, and that is on the inside edge of the circuit, not the yellow ones hanging out of the fence. They are the zones, the start and end of an outside zone. But there are cones on the inside of the circuit, orange cones, and they determine the braking zone or the correction zone where you're allowed to use a handbrake, maybe decel ever so slightly to get the car set up for the next outside zone or the next transition. What will come into effect here is whether Laurie Heinonen was decelling past that decel zone.
Yeah.
You're looking at the Wally system. Don't give anything away.
Okay.
I know what you're like.
I just want to talk about it.
6 rounds. Well, here we go. We're back on the line, and now start line Marshall Martin doing a little postage work there, wrapping up that A90 Supra, ready to send it off the line. Laurie Heinonen pulls up, and that front wheel, I'm going to say, it looks like it's got a little bit more camber than the other side.
Yeah, it's just not super aligned, but
you
we'll
can
see.
see it. Look at that. You can see it. It's got some damage on it. Laurie Heinonen, though, willing to send it. Well, they get the green light ready to go, and they're off the line and through the gears as Laurie Heinonen chase down Yves Meyer from spotting the top 16 and waits. And judges will have to come in on this one as they fire in. Laurie Heinonen waits for Yves Meyer to get that car set up, and it's a nice lead line so far from Meyer as he flicks it to outside zone 4. Laurie Heinonen takes the opportunity on the open door to take a step in, looks for the side of that blue 890 Supra as Meyer goes wide and looks for that perfect line, and Laurie Heinonen hunts him down and now starts to stamp the approval on the final outside zone.
Yeah, 2 gladiators just going at it, getting bloody, getting bruised, but still deciding to battle it out to the end. And for Laurie, you don't know. This is the hard part, is like at this point, these drivers don't know who's at fault. So they both have to go into it assuming that they're the ones that caused the collision, and they're going to completely try and crush through this whole thing. So we'll see here. Look at Yves Meyer. Great job through outside zone 1. And then as we start to push out towards outside zone 2, things look great. Laurie, I mean, he's such a master chaser. He's so good at this and knows not to overcommit. He's got so much speed in that car, holding things back without absolutely like cranking on the left foot brake. And the way that he waits for the other car to start to transition so he can dive back into the pocket is just masterful. As we can see in the bottom corner of those drivers, I mean, they made some collisions, they had some contact, but still friends at the end of the day. Great run.
Yeah, and just trying to catch the conversation there between Yves Meyer and Laurie Heinonen, and Laurie Heinenen's like, oh, what happened? Did I slow too much? And I think Yves Meyer said, I think I came in a little too hot.
Okay.
So I think Yves Meyer has already kind of thrown himself out of this battle. We're going to find out how the judges see it. Start of left for Meyer, right for Heinonen. It's 1 vote for Heinonen. It's going to be Laurie Heinonen getting the win and advancing through to the top 16. And yeah, the judges make it official in my headset. Laurie Heinonen wasn't at fault. It was Yves Meyer coming in a little too hot.
Yeah, it's tough, but those areas are defined, so that way the chase driver does know where that speed correction is going to be. So
exactly that.
Got to play within those rules.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go back to the start. Oh, we was going to go back to the start line, but Becky's down there with Laurie Heinonen. He must have a smile on his face. Becky's back in his car and he's back on form.
Laurie, congratulations on getting through your top 32 battle there. Now, I know it must have been a big push to get this car back together after what happened in Riga. How has it been for you on the journey?
Yeah, it's been a tough time for us this year, but yeah, now the engine is like a mix of parts. Like it has the bottom end of the engine in Riga and the heads from the one that went in Ireland. So yeah, it's like a phoenix bird.
Well, for a zombie engine, she looks pretty good out there. It seemed to be singing just the way we always like to hear it. Can you give us a little track update? So what are the conditions like out there?
Yeah, I think the track conditions are pretty much the same. Yeah, nothing like, of course, top 32. It's always the hardest for me, so not much to say.
Perfect. All right then, Laurie, we'll see you in top 16.
Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, the judges and us just discussed and said it's more of a Frankenstein than a Phoenix.
Yeah, because it's super scary.
It's scary. Yeah, it's got bolts hanging out of it here and there and everywhere. If we go back on the line, we go. It's going to be Jack Shanahan to take on David Spossum. We're in the final quarter of our top 32 now as Jack Shanahan sits on the line. Just one more time battle to go. We'll go back to that of Kavir and Pascotti. And this one, a big one. Shanahan, the higher qualifier, sits in the lead position, asks the question of David Spossum, our Polish driver, what can you do from the chase? There's a big sigh there, a big wiggle, a big reset. The door slams shut on that Toyota GT862 JZ, ready to sing as Shanahan launches that car off the line. Through the gears comes Jack Shanahan as he flicks it to an angle. We see him last night in that qualifying showdown. Wow, look at the initiation from Shanahan. He's up and gone. And David Spossum, no answer at the moment. As Shanahan goes for the wall now, Spossum trying to reel in the Irishman. As David Spossum looks for the side of Jack Shanahan's GT86, nosing in that S15, and through the smoke comes Spossum, but scared himself a little bit, backs out now, has to get back into it. As Spossum shallows up the angle, Shanahan brings it across the line.
Holy Jack Shanahan. Just a man possessed through that entire run, so fast, so committed. Like, he is driving every single battle right now. like the championship is on the line, because it really, really is. Spasab, I mean, off that get-go, it took him a little bit to really get into that fight, but understandably so, because the amount of speed that Jack's got throughout this entire run. I like how Spasab didn't... A lot of drivers, when you're facing that, are going to cut a ton of line just to try and stay in the battle, and for Spasab, he just cut little sections here and there to try and regain that proximity. Does a really good job of it a little bit later in this run, times that transition quite well, dives back in, and doesn't overshoot it, because it's a nasty spot there. 5 to 6, if you're coming in with too much speed, you're going into the wall. He does a really good job of hanging in there. But for me, Jack Shanahan just putting on an absolute clinic of what it's like to lay down an amazing lead run with a ton of style and a ton of aggression.
Yeah, he certainly does. As we see the cars cooling down there, and Jack Shanahan just waving to the crew saying, looks like we're all good, ready to go. He's called him over to the...
Oh, is he asking how
Call the tyres.
Interesting, okay. Interesting.
Wow, now that is a new one.
Yeah, I mean...
Call the tyres.
There's, depending on where you go drifting in the world, a lot of tracks will run water pits, so you can drive through, cool the tires off, you can get a bit more longevity out of it. So I'm wondering if that's, you know, that's kind of what he's hoping for
now,
here.
Will we see other teams do this? Because not only are the tyres getting hot, you've got to understand that these guys are left foot braking using the hydraulic handbrake to slow that car down. So the brakes are emitting heat through into the alloy wheel. Once an alloy is a superconductor, once it gets hot, it's hard to get the heat out.
Ooh, science, Ian, loving it.
Well, I am a welder, so you know I know all about hot metal. Hot metals are my thing. All right, hot metals are my thing.
Hot metals near you, love it.
But the alloy wheel, once it gets hot, it'll radiate the heat into the tyre, so it doesn't help. So if you overheat the tyres, is that what happened to Warren Nilsen? Just putting it out there. Here we go, off the line, food for thought this weekend. They come through the gears. Spasab leads them down. The Polishman fires that car in, and Shanahan now starts to tuck that GTA 6 into the pocket. Big dive from Shanahan, a big clutch kick. As Spasab goes nice and wide, Shanahan flicks it through. As Shanahan goes for the front wheel. Look at this from Spasab though. Really nice line, full commitment. Shanahan a little wobble there in outside zone 4 as he fires through, and then again another flick from Shanahan, dives down. You see the front wheel kick into the side of that S15 as he glues into the door.
Yeah, you became a little worried that is Jack Shanahan going to have enough tire to get through this run, but it looks like it. There's a couple of bobbles here and there where I went, is this it? Is the tire coming apart? Is he down to the cords? But able to get through either way. I'd love to see what those tires look like after this run. I might head over to the tire changers a bit later and check out how things are looking. Spasab does a great job in the lead. Very stable all the way through this run. It allows Jack to be able to really get that chase. The judges are looking at that as well. I mean, to have a great chase like that, you've got to have a great lead. As now in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see them taking a look. Maybe getting some fire extinguisher on those tires. So
the tires caught fire.
Yeah, that is a very, very hot tire for sure. Back to the action, Spasab looks really solid all the way through, and that bit of a bobble, that's what got me concerned that there was nothing left of the tread for Jack Shanahan, but he's able to get through, pedals it around, and does such a great job in the chase here. And Spasab, I mean, laying it down against any other driver, this could definitely take home a win, but I don't know if it'll be enough against a Jack Shanahan who's just completely on it today.
Yeah,
Well, there we go. Decisions inside of left for Spasab, right for Jack Shanahan. It's one vote for Jack Shanahan. It's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through, and the lead in the chase too much to handle for David Spasab. We'll see him back once again. And Spasab looking good, you know, came in as a rookie, and he's just getting stronger and stronger every single year.
Yeah.
And David Spasab, you know, I think a little bit more seat time in the car, he could be good. But Becky's down there with Jack, and Jack will be smiling from yesterday and today, Becky.
Hello, Jack. Congratulations through top 32. The nerves are off the shoulders right now. We've got to talk about your tyres. I mean, we can see they were trying to get some air to them there, but can you tell us what was going on for you?
They're actually a new construction with Extreme, so we are under a little bit of a panic that we do have a delaminate issue, but that's why we put the air on it just to be sure. But the fire was a bit unusual. That's never happened in this car before, so I think it might just be the build-up of rubber was the issue. But it's a good way to go, you know, we're on fire literally, so hopefully we can continue the momentum and keep going. But yeah, it was good fun. I actually wiped away all the nerves just before the battle, which was weird. Like, I was so relaxed at the start line, which is very unusual because I was bricking myself before it, to be honest. So yeah, that was good.
I'd love to know how you did that, actually. I'm going to ask you straight up, how did you do that? Because some other drivers might draw some inspiration from it.
A couple of deep breaths, I suppose. That's kind of all I've done. Everybody else was the same. Just sat there, strapped up, GoPro on, deep breaths, and then I was good to go. So hopefully it works for the rest of the day.
Well, we'll see you in the top 16. I hope it does work for you, and we'll be chatting with you later. There you have it, guys. Deep breaths, bit of yoga, stretch yourself out, you'll be good.
Well, you'll be catching me and Jacob do that in the halftime show on the track if you want to know how we relax before top 16. Some yoga and some deep breaths. Well, there you go. Interesting.
Yeah.
A new construction of tyre, so they were a little bit worried that they was going to run into an issue. Here we go. Back on the line, a man that had an issue with a tyre last night was this young man, Espen Road from Norway. DB'd a tyre in the tyre warming area. Unfortunately, didn't get out for his second qualifying run. Was enough to get him in the show yesterday with the first run. He sits on the line against Gediminas from Lithuania, who had a broken gearbox in practice. It looks like they got that car repaired and back out, though.
Yeah, both drivers, I mean, they're fighting some mechanicals. It is tough. This is an unforgiving track, and one mistake means a lot of time with the wrenches. So let's see if both these cars are able to hold it together as they come out of the box.
Yeah, Espen Road from Norway to lead them out of the high qualifier, fires in. Two BMW E46s go head-to-head right now. Look at that side-by-side as they fire into that second outside zone. Gediminas not letting Espen Road get away as Road fires through, looks for outside zone 4, slows that car down a little bit. Gediminas gets himself out of formation. Now has to work to get that E46 back on the door. The E46 again, and notice the headlight towards the door as he now falls into the same angle across the line.
Yeah, there's a little bit of panic there from Gediminas. This is what we talk about, where sometimes you make a bit of a mistake and you start to overcorrect and then fight it. So was able to get things back under control a little bit later in the run, but Espen Roads, it looks really, really solid. He's gaining that form, gets that car to angle just in time coming across that line. Gediminas hunting him down really, really early, maybe overcommitting just a bit coming into the first outside zone. Now, having those chassis being the same, that is a massive, massive advantage. It means you should know how that car is going to rotate. They're all different, but it makes a nice even playing field. But Gediminas just getting a bit wild, diving in, trying to make these big corrections, and unfortunately overcommits in a few spots. But for Espen Roads, he's through it. He looks really, really good, able to just improve with every single run through practice. We saw some aggression out of him we've never seen before yesterday in qualifying after having that DB'd, and very determined to make up for lost time as he checks his mirror there to see where his competitor was when they came across the line. Espen Roads now has got to stay locked in, giving his head that bit of a shake and getting ready to chase down Gediminas.
Yeah, he certainly is. Sits on the line. Looks like they're going to get the thumbs up all round from our start line. Marshall's car's ready to rock and roll. And here we go, it's going to be Gediminas to lead out Espen Road. Lithuania versus Norway off and through the gears. A big clutch kick initiation for Gediminas as he puts that car in with a shallow angle. Things looked like he was going to hit the wall. Now starts to dial on the angle as Espen Road sees the opportunity to dive onto the side of the E46 and a nice transition into outside zone 4. And look at this from Espen Road, diving, taking bites out the side of the E46 BMW. It's a big clutch kick from both guys as they fire through into outside zone 5. And it's a very wobbly, shaky run from Gediminas out front. The Lithuanian not rock solid.
No, not rock solid. Gets through the run, but you can see all the corrections and adjustments that he's got to make to get through this. So, I mean, if Gediminas gains a little bit more flow in his driving, he is going to be absolutely incredible. But I do like the fact that he's able to acknowledge that he's not in the perfect spot on the track, make those corrections. He's just telegraphing it so wildly. And for Espen, I mean, his chase was good. To me, he got a little too aggressive in a few spots. I don't think he had to be that close, but that message did not make it into the cockpit for that driver because he's chasing like his life depends on. Ooh, a bit of a fire there in transition.
I think we had two tyre fires at one point. Look at that. Boom.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. So lots of wheel speed going in there, tons of friction, building up that heat, and tires do self-combust. Different brands seem to do it at different temperatures. I mean, it's a lot of chemistry going on there, but either way, these drivers are gaining every bit of traction that they can find in these cars. It is wild, and yeah, Espen Roads, great job there. And Gediminas, it looks like already giving a thumbs up.
Giving the thumbs up there to Espen Road. I think he feels like this one didn't go his way, but as a driver, you know, most of these guys know exactly what's going on. A big smile on the face of both of them. Nevertheless, here we go, slide up left for Espen Road, right for Gediminas from Lithuania, and it's going to be Espen Road getting the win, advancing through to the top 16, and we lose the Lithuanian, but hey, I'd like to see him back because what a driver he is.
Definitely, like I said, a little bit more flow in his driving, maybe some nerves come down, and he's right up there with the best. I mean, we see all the Norwegian flags there. I mean, a lot of pride coming out of that country. I mean, drifting is in their soul over there. It's incredible.
And there we go. We can see cars warming up down the back end of the grid. And it's going to be our next battle of Mika Keski-Korpi to take on Diogo Correa. And Correa, again, a heartbreak in Riga. Not been the year for the Portuguese driver. The failed prop shaft. Contact with him and Conor Falvey, put them both into the wall. And Correa saying it's just not been the year, but could this be at the event? He only needs one event, you know, to make everything, all the heartbreak, all the travel, all the expense worthwhile. But he's going up against a man who looked so good yesterday in qualifying and who looked so chilled all weekend. I think he spent more time swimming in the lake than he did behind the wheel of the car. Every time I see Mika Keski-Korpi, he was soaking wet, walking back like a model from the beach saying, I'm having a really good weekend here in Germany.
I think they were shooting a shampoo commercial down there. I saw a lot of hair flips, so
makes sense now.
But either way, yeah, very relaxed, and that's a great place to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you started an argument in the paddock.
Did I?
Yeah, because I think Timo Peltola was like, if you want to talk about hair, let's go. And our photographer, Jordan Butters, he was like, hey, listen, you're missing out. I've got some locks going on.
Not a driver, though. Not a driver. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Butters.
I think that's going to translate through the whole circus here that we are of Drift Masters, that's for sure.
You get a poll going of best hair.
Best hair. I think even Becky will chime in on that and say, if you want to talk about hair.
Yeah, she's a driver.
She's a driver.
Yeah, so,
good hair.
Yeah, great hair.
Well, enough about hair. Let's talk about drifting for a minute. It's Mika Keski-Korpi on the line to lead out. Diogo Correa, smoke pouring out the back of Correa's car. Maybe another turbo issue. We'll find out later on. But look at that early initiation from Correa as he flicks it onto the back bumper. And a weird one from Korpi. But they fire in. And it's BMW versus BMW. B58 versus Mercedes-Benz power as they fire through. And look at this. Through the smoke comes Diogo Correa as he puts it to the side of the finished driver. Keski-Korpi on that clean lead line. We've seen it. Oh, and he's so close. He takes a back end off the car. Correa here this weekend for business as he glues it to the door across the line.
Wow, Diogo Correa, man, this is so aggressive. I absolutely love it. This is what I was hoping for out of him. I mean, we get these signs of it out of him where every once in a while he tries something a little bit different, goes for a dive that he wouldn't normally go for, and it's starting to come together. Mika Keski-Korpi, though, a little bit slower, not a ton, but very finessed all the way through it. Smooth. Look at he's dragging that bumper. Very comfortable, very relaxed. Time in the sauna. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks so chill throughout this entire run. Correa, the complete opposite. Just out for blood. Look at this dive in. Does a great job to get into the side of Keski-Korpi without overcommitting. And then this is a transition. Look at that, just bumper carnage all the way through.
See, it looked way worse than what it was. From that shot, you can see it was only bumper to bumper. But because the back ends of these cars are all carbon Kevlar, very flexible, it pushed the whole back end of the car up.
Yeah, Keski-Korpi, though, I mean, he stays in it. You're still going to feel it one way or another.
Of course.
And is able to continue on, keeps a great line all the way through. Correa, I love the aggression.
But hey, I'm just going to say, yeah, there are aluminium bars there at the back holding that car in place. I'm not a judge. I'm just saying that it looked way harder than what it was. But these cars, as you can see now, are so flexible and lightweight that one little touch, it will affect all of the panels on the back of the car.
It's there's a little bendy action going on back there.
That's
what they're built to do. They're built to take that impact and built to bend. So usually they're very... The drivers actually and the teams will build them in a way that they're very quick to change out as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes just pins holding them in or just bolted in. So, yeah, I mean, Keski-Korpi's definitely getting the speed tape action going on. Look at this transition one more time.
Oh, it was quite deep, actually. But then he hit the wall as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot to take in and a lot to unpack, because you can see it was only the bumper that came off.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit deeper than that could have been wheel on wheel, and now we're in a whole other can of worms there. He's got some coolers up there too. That's the tough. I saw, looks like the nitrous setup is set up there, so that could get torn out. That's the tough part. A lot of things going on in the front end of those cars. They build them to take that impact, but you can tear out wires, you can tear out nitrous ports, a lot that you can break with an impact like that.
Yes, certainly is. Well, there we go. Cars on the line, ready to rock and roll as they get the thumbs up all around from our start line marshal Marcin. Cars slam into gear and they wait for that green light as now Diogo Correa leads out Mika Keski-Korpi off the line. Keski-Korpi's car looking battered and bruised, but it might look even worse than that by the end of the weekend. They fire down into initiation and look at that, Korpi not there, not with him, as Mika Keski-Korpi now lost in a cloud of smoke as Diogo Correa is up and gone. Will he make a dive into outside zone 4? And he tries to as the Finnish driver goes for the dive, looks for the side, now gets into formation. As they fire through on the transition, Keski-Korpi comes in hot as he almost makes contact with him, and he does make contact onto the door across the line.
Wow. Is this going to be enough for Keski-Korpi? Because the beginning of that run, man, I wasn't sure what was happening. If he fell too chill, fell asleep at the line. Not entirely sure. Correa, though, maybe thinking he's at a bit of a disadvantage with that contact, has to throw everything out the wall. Super concerned about the white smoke coming out of the exhaust, but didn't seem to affect anything. And look at Keski-Korpi, this is not typical of him, but Correa absolutely smothering those zones, filling all the way through. And a bit of panic there from Keski-Korpi, now able to finally get into it as we get through outside zone 4. Starting to hunt him down, transitions all look good, but that's halfway through the run before Keski-Korpi really got into the side of Correa. So is that gonna be enough? Man, this is a tough decision for the judge. Oh my gosh.
Look how buried he is in the wall.
Wow. Wow, absolutely incredible. The precision out of these runs was absolutely wild.
Oh, look at that, flexing the door with the wheel.
I mean, yeah, Keski-Korpi, he can be chill, but I mean, don't anger him. Do not get him mad. Yeah.
It's like,
not bad.
Not bad. Good effort.
Yeah, both look concerned though.
Here we go, decisions in, left for Correa, right for Keski-Korpi. It's one vote. It's going to be Mika Keski-Korpi getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. We say goodbye to Diogo Correa, and judges are going to tell me what it was maybe in the headset.
Okay, so the mistake from Diogo on the transition was really big one, as the lead run was affected by that contact. And place of transition is the worst place where you can be hit by the chaser, because that can push you completely in wrong position. And as you're approaching the wall, actually Mika Keski-Korpi was able to save it very, very nicely. Then they went the other way, and Mika was not able to have the proximity in the first part of the track. So we are having like both chase runs, which were having quite big mistakes, and then it comes to the lead run, and Mika was able to pull slightly better lead run, which give him the win.
Thank you very much, David. And Becky's down there with Mika Keski-Korpi. He's always smiling, Becky, but he's super relaxed this weekend.
Mika, well done for getting into top 16. We were just watching you there, and the first part of the run, it looked like you were playing a bit of catch-up, but the second part, you were absolutely on his door.
Yeah, in the first part, I was maybe a little bit lagging off the pace, and I think maybe he was too inside, so there was like little problems, but I managed to drive the rest of the run quite good and very close. And yeah, I'm so happy now, because this season has been quite rough for us. We have been thinking that the driving is there, but we didn't have that much luck. But maybe now it's getting better.
Well, the commentators have been talking about how relaxed you look. Are you relaxed, or is it just game face?
I think it's the game face.
Well, there you go. That's your question answered, guys. Mika, we'll see you in top 16.
Thank you very much, Becky. Game face.
Game face.
I tell you what he needs to do. Forget drifting, take up poker.
Yeah.
Because he's got a game face, that's for sure. We go back on the line to the final battle of our top 32 until we visit one more time between Kavia and Pascotti. It's going to be Juha Poitalaxo take on Nasser Al-Habali.
This is just
you called this battle out.
Yeah.
You said it went under the radar.
It is a little bit under the radar. Both drivers really coming up. Both of them, even through qualifying, just really cleaning things up, going a little bit deeper when they needed to. You know, whether or not they're listening to us, I'm not sure, but taking those notes, just getting better every single round, every single run.
Well, you are a legend in Finnish drifting, and a name that's been around in European drifting for a very long time. Nasser Al-Habali coming over from El Salvador, now residing in Dubai, driving it in the Polish Championship. So getting that European seat time, trying to get as good as these Polish drivers. And said now he's found that form. Now he knows what he needs to do, and this is him leading out. Juha Poitalaxo, the higher qualifier, opting to chase first as they fire through into outside zone 4. Habali into that long outside zone, but look at this, Juha onto the door, no messing around as he fires through, mistimes the transition, gives him some room, and will Habali take that advantage and drive away? And he tries to, but there's no shame the Finnish driver.
Yeah, that was definitely a back and forth battle. Sometimes, you know, one driver doing really, really well in one zone, and then it seemed like a joust as both drivers finding different parts of the track where they feel maybe a little bit more confident. For me, Nassar's initiation was a little bit kind of straight lined. You can see him really having to drive out to that first outside zone. Now, for Juha Poitalaxo, he does a good job of committing to that. The hard part is for Nassar, he's really got to slow down, gets back on throttle, even through second outside zone, does a really good job. 3 looks solid. Now we get into 4 where Juha times it quite well to get into the side, and then starts to bully Nassar just a little bit as we come through this really long zone. but does provide a lot of time for that transition. The judges would like to see them, you know, a little bit more synchronized. Yuha opting to wait until Al-Habari is able to get all the way almost to angle before he makes that dive. So that's going to be maybe a bit of a docked point against him on that run, but the proximity looks really, really solid from Yuha, taking the opportunities to gain that proximity without making any major sacrifices as he pulls back to the line.
Yeah, interesting battle between those two guys, and yeah, I think you're right to say it went under the radar. I think it did ever so slightly, because now we see him back on the line, ready to go. They're getting the thumbs up all around. It's going to be a Harbali to chase down. Yuha Poitalaxo as they come off the line and through the gears. 2JZ power this season for Poitalaxo, the Finnish driver, up and gone. A big clutch kick on initiation down. They fire into that first outside zone as Nasser Al-Habali keeps his distance, keeps his course. He hunts down the side of the Finnish driver's car. They fire through. Oh, there's going to be contact into the wall. Both guys wedged and sandwiched between the wall and each other.
Yeah, thankfully that wasn't as bad as it could have been. You know, both drivers having a bit of a momentum change through that section. So it'll be interesting what the judges think here, because those orange cones once again are going to come into play as they're already taking a look at the replay to see, was Yuha back, was Poitalaxo back on throttle where he needed to be? Was he still decelling? How is that looking? And because Nassar, he's got to pick up that proximity, so he's going to be hard charging into that spot. So they're going to be going through, checking this replay, checking every single angle possible. But let's take a look here in some little slow-mo, just to give you that idea.
I'm looking at what the judges are looking at on the other monitor and trying to see whether the decel is there.
So it is.
Oh, and
it's right at that line. Yuha's basically got to get on throttle and where that contact
So
happens.
the two cones are right there on the inside.
Yeah.
Was he back on throttle after the second cone? That's what the judges are looking for. Here we go. Look, he's handbraking.
There's one angle where it looks like it, and there's one angle where it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it kind of just depends on like where they drew that line coming over. So yeah, really, really interesting. And we'll have to see how this all plays out.
Well, we're going to see how it all plays out. As we say, we're not judges. We're just trying to bring you the information and trying to bring you the shots and the views from Red Bull TV of what we see. And yeah, from that camera angle, it looks like it could be a different angle, and you can see the contact, the damage on both the cars. Both cars debeaded tyres, and Yuha talking to our start line marshal Marcin. And it does look like maybe Yuha needs some recovery. Can't drive back to the paddock in that state.
I think he would if they let him. He seems like the kind of guy's like, yeah, it's fine.
I'll make it back.
Yeah, I'll get it back. It's all good.
Well, we wait for the decision to come in from the judges. Nasser smiling.
I stayed full on throttle in the transition. So.
Wow. Yeah. Here we go. We're going to make it official. Slide him left for Poitalaxo, right for Harbali. And here we go. Nasser Al-Harbali gets the win, advances through to the top 16. And we quickly come to you, David Kalas. You deemed Yuha at fault for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, in cases like that, we just need to find out who is to blame. And this time, it was more on the leader because there is only orange zone. So there is like small adjustment place for the speed. However, if you look on Yuha's run, he's basically over-rotating still already in the beginning of outer zone 4 and not going forward. And you can see that he's getting more and more into the wrong position, and Chaser was doing his job. He was trying to be close. He was back on throttle in the place where he should be back on throttle, and there is the contact where it happened. So yes, there is slightly mistake on both sides, but the bigger mistake was from Yuha.
Yeah, and there we go. Thank you very much, David Kalas. And you can see it now. You start watching it back on the replay. You can see especially from that other camera angle, you see the amount of angle that Yuha was taking into the outside zone. Well, here we go. This will be the final battle of our top 32. It's our one more time battle between Torane Kavir and Kevin Biscotti. Kavir said he was thankful that he went one more time because he thought he'd lost it.
Wow. It shows how close this has become now. And yeah, both drivers probably a little concerned with that, but either way, it was an epic battle. Stylistically, it's just such an amazing matchup. And now they're going to be even more hungry. I don't think they're going to hold back at all at this point.
Kevin is from Hungary, yeah, you're right.
I swear I meant to do that.
So there we go, sitting on the line. Kevin Pascotti puts his fist up and says he's ready for it. And we know that Torane Kavir will be laser focused as always. That steely Norwegian sledgehammer, that cold ice stare down, and look at that. Look, the tinted fires are slammed closed. The deep breathing, thumbs up, slams the car into gear. Tests the hydro one last time before he gets off the line and ready to go. A short shift through the gears as Kevin Pascotti leads out Torane Kavir. Kavir asking Pascotti, you lead first, you show me what you got, as they fire into the first outside zone. Pascotti deep onto the wall as now Kavir starts to rein him in. No losing him this time as they come through. A big transition from both guys and a wobble as they both get back on power. Kevin Pascotti wanders in outside zone 4 as they fire in. Oh, a big angle thrown at it by Kavir as Kavir tries everything to try and take down the Hungarian driver.
Wow, just stepping up again, not making the same mistake twice, but still making a bit of a mistake there for Torane Kavir, who decides to head a bit left, maybe to cool that car back down as we get another very dicey drone shot. They're risking it all right now with the aerials. Kevin Pascotti, oh man, this just, the initiation is great. He's not making the same mistake he did. And for Tor, I'm just not letting him go through that first couple of zones. The transition just absolutely solid. And then for Tor, starts to hunt him down through 4. But there's a little bit of overcommitment that he kind of bites on a bit later in this run. Does take Tor a minute, though, to really get into the side of Pascotti through outside zone 4. And then a slight over-rotation from Tor. Look at that, just overcommits just a bit. Now, is that because Pascotti was slowing down through that section? I'm not sure. It didn't seem that way. I think Tor maybe just angled up a bit much.
I think the opposite.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm going to go the opposite to you. I think Pascotti was full throttle through those transitions, and I think that it caught Kavir out on the transition, and he slowed ever so slightly, and then he realised Pascotti had started to drive away, so he thought, if I throw the car through the zone, I'm going to keep up with him. Watch this. Look at this, full throttle, bam, no messing around. Back on the throttle early, throws the car at it, and Pascotti's already up and gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's not a lot of drivers now that are doing that full throttle all the way through these transitions.
It's a slight lift, and I'm saying like it's seconds of a lift. Like he's off throttle, on throttle for the transition.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe you on that. And for Tor, maybe wasn't expecting that. No. Expected a bit of a handbrake, so he pulls that, and then by the time he realizes, no, he's still going, he gets back on thread. Does a good job of making that correction, but yeah, that's really interesting. Good eyes on you, Ian, good eyes.
Sometimes. I do have to wear glasses. But here we go, they pull up to the line, they get the thumbs up. It's going to be Torane Kavir to lead out Kevin Pascotti. The final spot in top 16 awaits. Who's it going to be? Will it be Kavir? Will it be Pascotti? They fire through the gears, and Pascotti not letting Kavir get away as they fire down into outside zone 1, side by side, into outside zone 2. And look at this from Pascotti. It's aggressive, it's angry as he pushes the Norwegian to the edge of the circuit. Through the smoke comes Pascotti, but he's led on a perfect line from the Norwegian sledgehammer as Kavir gets the bumper onto the wall, goes for the transition. And look at that from Kevin Pascotti, is absolutely beautiful, and a big tyre fire erupts from the back of Torane Kavir's car as he gets it to the wall and across the line.
Oh, and I maybe I'm wrong. Is that the same brand that we've got that we saw in Jack as well? So something going on there with those tires. It's definitely an interesting battle, or it's heating up, as they say. Kevin Pascotti, man, holy cow, though. This is nuts. Tor cranking through this run, already knowing that maybe overcommitted in that one zone, got a little bit wild there, and look at how well he places that car. That arc is beautiful from 1 to 2 to 3. That is textbook. Transitions look good, and Pascotti gets that nose in and now starts to hunt him down. Uses that momentum change zone to be able to do it. Tor's tire lights up really quick. Now, when that happens, I mean, the grip starts to go down really, really quick, too. That's the hard part, is the car becomes a little bit more difficult to drive, but you couldn't tell with Tor. Look, you can see you can see the flames reflecting off the wall. Oh man, that's wild.
That lead line from Torane Kavir from that drone shot is absolutely beautiful.
It's as perfect, I think, as we've seen so far. I was going to say as we're going to get, but I mean, drivers are getting better and better. He knew that tire was lit up too.
And shout out to Marcin.
Yeah.
Marcin, not only our start line marshal, but repairing the cars and putting out fires.
He does everything.
He's that maintenance man. He's doing it all.
Yeah. I bet he cooks a mean breakfast too.
Well, there we go. Torane Kavir on the left, Pascotti on the right. Who's it going to be? It's one vote. It's going to be Kevin Pascotti. Takes down Kavir for the final spot in top 16. The Hungarian takes the Norwegian out of competition, and that is it. Our top 32 is done, and Pascotti says, yes, finally. You can see what it means to that young man. And look at that. The Hungarian fans are in the house. They're cheering. They're waving the flags. And it's going to be a good day for them if Piscotty carries on like that. Becky's down there with Kevin. What a day.
Big smiles all around here from Kevin Piscotty. Kevin, the season, as you said, has been a struggle, but you're happy. You're through to top 16.
Yeah, finally, second time that I'm in top 16 this year. First of all, welcome Ferropolis. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's incredible to see all the spectators out there. It's just crazy. Yeah, second win this season in a battle, and it's getting more and more like between the car and me, the connection is getting more strong. So now I know how to do that.
Well, you said to me just a second ago, you really prepared for this round. You've been putting in the work behind the scenes, and we can really see it in your driving there. That chase run was incredible, but we all know to have a good chase, you've got to have a good lead, right?
Yeah, totally agree. And one more thing, Yula Masters, üdvözöllek benneteket.
Well, there you have it. Ian?
Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah. He's doing good things this year.
Oh, I know.
Piscotty he's getting it, but it just sometimes doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, but it's not there.
The stories are progressing. Like, just drivers are coming out of the woodwork. It's so good.
Exactly. Well, here we go. What a top 16 straight away. Conor Shanahan, McKeever, Zakaril, Nakamura, Korpulinski, Croll, Pesur, Heidrich, Vichek takes on Sada, Heinen and Piscotty, Shanahan, Espen Road, Mika Keski-Korpi, Nasser Al-Habali.
Yeah, and the highlight there, Max Heidrich taking out James Dean. So.
Well, mechanical. James Dean takes himself out of the car, takes itself out of competition, and I mean, no one wants to see anyone go out like that, but it's happened to a lot of these drivers throughout the 2025 season already, and I tell you what, it's not going to be the last time we see it either.
Yeah, to finish first you have to finish, and if you can't get the car off the line, no way you're going to win the battle. So
certainly so. Well, there we go. Guys having a beverage around the place. We're getting hot and heavy. It's time to almost get ready for our top 16. Becky's down there in the paddock.
Well, top 32. It's always a scorcher here in Ferropolis, and our top 32 definitely brought that up for us. We've got some massive battles coming up in top 16, so make sure you join us at 8:50 p.m. local time, as we're going to be live on Red Bull TV. It's the night race. It's round 6, the penultimate round. People are really going to have to set their intentions. Make sure you join us there.